to forget me, but you stayed by my side when I said, don't try to make yourself remember, darling, don't look for me, I'm just a story you've been told, so let's pretend a little longer, and when we're gone, everything goes on.
Again, you want a dose of this right now it's KD8 I'm a goddess with a blaze 소리처럼 내 이름 잊지 못하게 loud 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 I could take you to the top 절대 멈추지 못해 내가 끝내주는 bad gal 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 When I started talk that oh you know how to react I'm a picture perfect face with the wild in my veins you can hear it in my growl 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 So keep your eyes on me 무엇을 보든 좋아할 거야 다 할 수 없는 레벨 나와 되길 원한 늘 확신해 We got it all in our hands now So can you handle what we're all about What's so tough? Let's get it, show you out Can you feel the rush now? Ain't nobody bringing us down, 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 down They could try but we gonna wear the crown You could go another round, 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 round Wish you luck but you're not bringing us down Go hard, till we get it, we go hard We so in it, we pop stars Only winning, winning now Ain't nobody bringing us down, 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 down You ready for this?
Let's go!
See, 언제든지 내 모습 매직 단 한 번에 내가 잡아 절대 기죽지 않지 펴펴 네가 뭘 알아 견딜 수 없어 원해도 원하는 게 얼굴에 보여 I'm troubling you running it I'm so cold When I move that way you gon' be so blown I'm the realest in the game Said I'm on fire with the blade You're about to hear my name ringing in your head like whoa So keep your eyes on me now 무엇을 보든 좋아할 거야 We so tough Let's get it show you out Can you feel the rush now? Ain't nobody bringing us down, 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 down They could try but we gonna wear the crown You could go another round, 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 round Wish you luck but you're not bringing us down Go hard, till we get it, we go hard We so in it, we pop stars Only winning, winning now Ain't nobody bringing us down, 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 down 난 멈추지 않아 we go hard we pop stars Ain't nobody bringing us down, 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 down They could try but we gonna wear the crown You could go another round, 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 round Wish you luck but you're not bringing us down Go hard, till we get it, we go hard We so in it, we pop stars Only winning, winning now Ain't nobody bringing us down, 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 down What are you willing to lose? You cover your wounds, but underneath them a million voices in your head that whisper, stop now. Another twist of the knife, a turn of the screws, it's all in your mind and it's fighting you on yourself. The storm is coming. Wow, kid, what you gonna do now? It's your reflection looking back to pull you down. So are you gonna die today or make it out alive? You gotta conquer the monster in your head and then you'll fly, fly, Phoenix fly. It's time for a new empire. Go bury your demons, then tear down the ceiling, Phoenix fly. And now you're playing with matches. Come out of the ashes underneath you. A million voices in the crowd, they're screaming, stop now. Well, let them swallow the pride. You're turning the tides, true believers. Got them in the palm of your hand, you're playing God now. What you gonna do now? It's your reflection looking back to pull you down. So are you gonna die today or make it out alive? You gotta conquer the monster in your head and then you'll fly, fly, Phoenix fly. It's time for a new empire. Go bury your demons, then tear down the ceiling, Phoenix fly. So are you gonna die today or make it out alive? You gotta conquer the monster in your head and then you'll fly, fly, Phoenix fly. It's time for a new empire. Go bury your demons, then tear down the ceiling, Phoenix fly.
KDA, should we show them how we do it every day? Let's get it. Kali that girl, Kali go girl, Kali don't stop, Kali don't skirt, Kali got a job, Kali go to work. 뜨거워 언제나 don't get burned. 넘쳐 흘러물 든 a buffet, 죽여주잖아 like a buffet. 누가 감히 on my outfit, 이거 문 열지 마, that's a rock day. Don't give any more cause I'm greater than. 필요 없는 시험들 다 뿐이미. But all of my numbers are talking back. 부루마법 message monopoly. 눈종이 돈이 나 money 필요 없대. 너네들이 만든 돈들 go get it, go get it, go get it. The mission 눈을 못대 못해 그래 너도 get it cause I got it different.
All I'll ever know is life upon the throne. 시작하면 끝을 보는 거야. You want more? No, I got it so deep though. You look like you could use some more. No, I got it and never running low. Yeah, I got more than enough, set it up and away. You know I got it like boom, boom, blow your mind. Never giving less and it's how it'll stay. You know I got it like all day, all the time. When I go, it's for gold, get it cool, but I'm cold. I don't fit in a mold, I'm a rebel. I don't do what you say, making moves, I don't wait while I smile in your face. I got different DNA. What's higher than the top to me? Take a look before falling at my feet. 조용히 몸을 숙여봐. So take a look, 나를 기억해요, queen. All I'll ever know is life upon the throne. 시작하면 끝을 보는 거야. You want more? No, I got it so deep though. You look like you could use some more. No, I got it and never running low. Yeah, I got more than enough, set it up and away. You know I got it like boom, boom, blow your mind. Never giving less and it's how it'll stay. You know I got it like all day, all the time. Way out，感觉犹如海浪的微浪，不断往前，oh you never way down. This is how I do it every day. Wow, wow，这一路上的奇迹都记住了你的每一个瞬间，无比的耀眼。I know, I
As a child, you would wait and watch from far away, but you always knew that you'd be the one that would while they all play. And you'd lay awake at night and scheme of all the things that you would change, but it was just a dream. From dust. From dust. Coming at you like
Welcome, everybody, for tonight's broadcast of the VRS, the Victorious Rival Series semifinal match between PF Goblins and Dorado Gaming Gamma, DOGG. I am your play-by-play caster tonight, Becky Rita, and on the desk with me is Shibby. We are already in the draft, dropping in hot and fresh and ready like a Little Caesars pizza, looking for some cool, interesting things to see in this draft already. Some bans, including Lux, off the table. These are some fascinating, probably targeted bans. You don't really see Twitch banned very often, unless somebody really does not like Twitch. So, yeah, these teams are cooking something. I'm excited to see what they have for the table.
And it's interesting also to say that we've been on the patch now, the new one, the very big changing Rage Blade patch, I like to call it, for a week now. So these teams have been in the lab. They are allowed to cook. So the Twitch ban, yeah, like you said, targeted probably, but there are a lot of powerful picks, quote unquote, still on the table, right? Solo queue standards like Hecarim, Kha'Zix, who, can abuse the Ghost Blade, right? We've got things like the Kog'Maw still on available, as PFG will lock that in for themselves. And so now, does Dorado then deny the Lulu? Do they deny the Lulu Cog? Do they take the Zeri for themselves, who has been popping up with the Triforce build, right? There's been a lot of different 80 carry builds coming out, right? We see the Aphelios with the Ghost Blade. We see Zeri and Kaisa with the Triforce. Obviously, Kog'Maw, a very strong Rage Blade user. And I think 80 carries in general, we're in a bot-centric meta. As we do see the Aphelios hover, that is locked in.
Yeah, Aphelios will get locked in. Not something you see super often in even lower to mid levels of play, just because he's kind of a funky champion. You have to be reasonably proficient on the Aphelios to feel confident picking him up. But I imagine Carino has played this Aphelios enough times previously to feel reasonably confident to bust it out on stage. I know something that personally I feel has worked really well into Kog'Maw is Misfortune, going lethality Misfortune, and just refusing to interact until you can one-shot him. So that's something that I've found success, with teams I've played with drafting against Kog'Maw. But this game, it's Aphelios, and we've got Volibear as well, either top or jungle there. Haven't seen Volibear in quite a bit, but Lulu we've seen quite a lot.
I think Volibear is just a trash champion. I'm going to be quite honest here, Becky. I mean, we haven't seen him for a reason, right? The stuff that he used to do really well when he was meta, he was good at skirmishing, he had decent clear speeds, and one of the main things that you could facilitate tower dives so easily, right? With his ability to turn towers off, with him, his ability to turn, dives, 3v2, 3v3s, you just make that tower completely negated here and just get these dives going. Hopefully DGG look to do that, right? I think they're going to look to dive bot lane. Lulu Cog, not that strong super early, one of those scaling bot lane picks, but PFG have rounded out their composition with the Jace, which is a flex pick right now. It can go top, can go mid at the moment. So depending on where they want to pilot this, you can get a really good advantageous matchup. Not bad into the Ornn, but maybe they're looking for something else. But now PF Goblin, they've got to draft some AP. They've got to draft some magic damage for themselves, whether it's in the jungle with the Fiddlesticks or something like that, or maybe one of their solo lanes into the Gwen Ornn and maybe just pilot that Jace into the mid lane.
Yeah, Gwen is definitely an option here into the Ornn. It's pretty decent overall. It will sort of make their front line a little weaker. They'll have to round that out in the jungle, but either way, Kog'Maw is also not super bad in the magic damage front. He does a lot of split damage between, magic damage and if you're a true enlightened gamer, or I'm sorry, magic physical, and for enlightened gamers, true damage. Make sure you utilize your passive, everyone, on Kog'Maw. He has a split damage profile, so it's not the end of the world. It is still really hard to itemize against Kog'Maw if you are a tank. The best way to itemize against Kog'Maw is to get someone else to kill him. That aside, Jace, arguably, I've seen that it is an S-tier mid laner. I'm not sure if I agree with that assessment, but it is still a flex pick between top and mid, and the Ornn is Ornn. We have a good meatball front line here to protect the Aphelios, but we'll just have to see what support they get it. And Milia will not be that support, so Thresh still on the table, one of Aphelios' best partners. Still have a few other options that Dorado can look at to support the Moonman here. And they're going to go with the... Okay, all right, Dorado. All right. I say to myself, I'm not just going to root for Dorado, but you picking the Sona. You're playing to my heart specifically here with this pick. I love Sona. My true love. So, you know what? Now I gotta support Dorado here. I don't need to see the rest of the draft. They win this one.
I mean, Sona got a nice sizable amount of buffs with the support item changes, as well as the Lilia gets locked in for PF Goblin here, right? She's one of the best scaling supports, if not the highest scaling supports or enchanters in the game at the moment. Echoes of Helia, very, very good. If you want to itemize into that, you can get a lot of those procs off. Moonstone is pretty good still, right? The fact that they made Ardent Sensor even better, that's a second item rush for a lot of these enchanters, where it usually would have been Redemption or maybe the Chemcheck Putrefier. Sona gets really, really strong, and she outscales the Lulu, and she's just going to provide so much value, especially with that team fight value as well, as this Swain gets locked in as well. And we asked for magic damage, Becky, and they gave it to us twofold. The Lilia Swain combo coming in here. Swain most likely going to be piloted into that mid lane. Jace going into that Ornn. It's going to be a Jace Ornn lane as the Cass another late game scaling champion for the side of Dorado. Both of these compositions looking to scale, looking to get their item, but GTG have thrown the gauntlet down. They have the Ornn, the Aphelios, the Cast. They are playing for the longest of cons.
Yeah, Dorado are absolutely going to scale until God arrives, and they can win the game from there. They've got the Ornn, they've got the Sona, they have Cassio, Aphelios, and then Volibear's hanging out. So it's like, this is definitely a late game composition. Dorado want to drag this one out, and it's going to require PFG to play a little bit aggro in this early game, take advantage of maybe some of the weaknesses of these champions if they really want to make the most of it. Of course, they do still have their own late game win condition in the form of Kog'Maw, so it's not entirely out of the realm of possibility that PFG can still win this one out, especially since if anybody is going to be able to bust front lines, it is Kog'Maw. But in terms of frontlining for PFG, it's kind of lacking. They definitely get blasted by, you know, a good Aphelios ultimate, a good combo from Sona, Ornn, and maybe even Volibear. You know, if those abilities get layered together on the front line of PFG, they will just evaporate. So that is something that PFG will have to play smart around going into the later stages of the game.
Yeah, I would classify PFG's composition as very beefy, right? They've got a lot of people that would like to stack health or can provide shield, right? With the Lulu, right? Lilia, Swain typically go, health items, or eventually will build some health with the demonic embraces, right? So they're not traditional tanks, but I think with PFG, they've got late game scaling options, like you said, the Kog'Maw, right? The Swain can become a menace, but I think Jace has kind of miscategorically been, seen as like a mid game champion, when in reality, once he gets that Cyrildas, right? Once he hits that, man immune, and if he goes into the Eclipse, which we've seen a lot of Jaces go, and then he gets that Cyrildas, he will start shredding your team, right? Those shock blasts can do a lot of damage. And yeah, they do have a front line with the Volibear, with the Ornn, but more often than not, this Jace is playing an off angle, right? He's looking for a shock blast over the wall from Fog of War onto your Aphelios, onto your Sona, onto your Cassiopeia. If one or two of those lands before a crucial dragon fight, or a Baron fight, or even a Rift Herald fight, they will just tear through whatever kind of damage that you wanted to have if you're on the side of DGG. So it's not just important for them to place their front line, when they're ready to go, when they're ready to strike, but also be cognizant of, hey, where is this Jace? Where are they positioning? Is he on a flank? Is he split pushing? Where is he? Because, like I said, one of those shock blasts, if they land on the Aphelios, they land on the Zona, can completely take them out of the fight, right? Well, half them, if not 75% them, once he gets to that Cyrilda's point. And he can even start throwing them into that front line if he really wants to, because that Cog Jace shred, once they hit those 3-item power spikes, I mean, your front line, you have to keep up with the damage. And right now, with how buffed AD carries are, they just shred through tanks at the moment.
Yeah, AD carries are absolutely able to shred tanks apart with their new items. They do require a little bit more investment to get to those power points where they can actually shred through frontline, but they are able to do so arguably more efficiently than on last patch. You know, it depends on who you ask and what AD carry players are coping that their role is garbage, even though it has been the most important role in the game for the better part of the past 2 years. With that said, I gotta ask, just looking at these comps, which one do you prefer going into game one of our semifinal series here?
Ooh, Becky, I really like PFG's composition. I think, despite Dorado, picking up the Aphelios, the Ornn, the Sona, I love that. I actually think this Volibear is out of place, and it's gonna have to do so much more early on. Whereas Lilia, she can farm, she's faster on the farming, she can rotate camps really quickly, she can invade. A Volibear has to get a lot done in the early game, and if he's not coordinating dives with his bot lane or coordinating dives with the mid lane, it feels like he's just gonna fall off completely, right? And he's just gonna be like a meatball, like you said, but he's not gonna be that tanky, he's not gonna be that beefy, because he just hasn't been able to get the gold from the kills, and he hasn't really been able to rotate camps that quickly. So I like PFG's composition in game one, but it's not to say Dorado's isn't amazing. I think PFG just edged this out for me just a little bit.
Yeah, once again, I can't just come in here and support Dorado because Dorado's got plenty of supporters in chat already. But Sona, Whether I think PFG has a lot of damage. They can really win these fights if they just find a couple of good angles. They can absolutely obliterate Dog. But as the game gets longer on, those Ornn items come in and those carries get online. Dog is going to become a menace, and of course, my beloved Sona will bring them to the promised land. But for the time being, we're going to go to a spectator delay break. So when we come back, we will be in game one of our semifinal series between PF Goblins and Dorado Gaming Gamma. So stick around. We'll have that game coming at you after our quick break. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our first game of the VRS semifinal match between PF Goblins and Dorado Gaming Gamma. PF Goblins on the blue side and Dorado on the red side. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Bit of a pausers.
Here. So I'm gonna, I'm gonna pull the curtain back a little bit. In the production chat, our producer Scrams noticed that how we got into this game was through blind pick, and he had said, "Hope they don't need to pause." And I thought that there was like a bug, like I thought there was like, oh, is there like a blind pick pause bug? Are we done? Is it over for us if they pause? No. Apparently you can pause. Hopefully that they're fine. But for the time being, it looks like the jungler for PF Goblins is having some connectivity issues here
He's out of
on the
luck.
Rift today. Yeah, it's no luck. No luck for the Wi-Fi router. That's all right. It is what it is. So I guess we can talk a little bit about what we're looking at here, just in terms of, some keystones, some summoner spell selections here. Kog'Maw has opted into the cleanse
I
here,
like that.
which is definitely a smart plan into the Sona and Cassio. And actually, even Aphelios, the Aphelios route is kind of sneaky in what it can do for you.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
it can set up some really cool plays, right? If you get that gravitum going and then you just root them down. But I do
mhm,
like the cleanse. There's actually only one knockup on the team, so you don't
mhm,
have to worry about how much value are you getting out of cleanse if most of the CC is knockups. In this case, it's a stun from Volley Bear. It's a petrify, right?
mhm,
From the Cassiopeia. Obviously, it's a root or a stun from the Aphelios, and obviously
mhm.
another root slash dancing stun mechanic from Sona, right? They're all
Mm-hmm.
cleansable. I think that's really nice. And also it allows Lulu to kind of take the heal and play a little bit more aggressively, and you can still get some nice trades going in here. But realistically, summoner spells and runes are pretty prototypical. I
Mhm.
thought we were gonna see potentially the Predator coming out from Dulce Rero here, but opting in for the press the attack, a little bit more scrappy, a little bit more skirmishy, can look to kind of take those fights into luck here. But like I said, a lot is on his table, a lot is on his plate right now. He has to get stuff done in the early game. If not, if he can't get kills, if he can't get plates or objectives, this Lilia is just going to out farm him and out rotate the camps and just get so far ahead.
Yeah, Lilia is one of those Roomba junglers. She will clean up her own jungle, your jungle, before you even get a chance to blink if you are not careful. So, guts, it's something that Dulce Rero is going to have to keep in mind as the game goes on. You know, and the team of Dorado as a whole are going to have to keep in mind as they start working through this game. And, yeah, got to keep track of the Lilia. Meanwhile, something that when I was looking at summoner spells, I don't know, like maybe there's something wrong with my monitor. Does Olin have flash on cooldown or
Yeah, I'm not
what?
entirely sure when he used it. He
What?
might have misclicked it.
He
Well,
probably misclicked it, but either
probably
way,
misclicked it.
does not have that. Not sure if it's gonna be something that they'll look at. I don't even think they didn't ping it. So
No.
I'm not even sure PF Goblins knows that he does not have it. So he might be able to get away with being an absolute boneheaded Ornn player, clicking the flash button for fun in the start of the game. He'll get away with that. Speaking of getting away with things, Bolserero's flash right here. Afrozonite's gonna have to flash out as well, but Sluter's gonna get a lot of damage right now. The Root's gonna come back in, it's gonna pull him into tower. A tiny little snake auto attack will blow the Noxian general away as first blood goes to Sluter.
Oh, he lands the E and pulls them back in. I don't think you want to do that because that allowed Sluter to get another Poison Fang off. I think you just take the flash for flash, root them, but don't pull them back in. Unfortunately, Zonite pays for it. So I said Dulcerero's got to get something going. The flash Q into the mid lane gets a kill for the cast, and right now he's 1-for-0 on his ganks right now.
Yeah, the late game team already up in tempo, up in the game. It's one of those things that is very much a doomsday scenario if it gets out of hand when you'd want to keep this team behind for as long as possible. But it is still the early stages of the game. It is not entirely over yet. And Sluter is going to be walking back to lane with a blasting wand as that first purchase. That is going to be a lot of damage into that poor old Swain, and he's going to be a target for the rest of laning phase right now.
I wouldn't be surprised if Dulce looks to repeat gank that right now, as Warrior Tofu is pushed up, but the win con for DGG or DOGG is not that top lane. It's for Ornn to survive. It's for him to just tank up and eventually just bring those ornaments onto these late game team fights here. So Dulce looking to get Sluter ahead, potentially looking to play towards Carino and Griffin here, as they do have some early lane control with this Sona Aphelios. Dragons should be on the menu for them right now.
Yeah, Dragons are going to be on the menu with all the pressure they have in mid and bot. At any time they want it, they can just push those minions in and head over to that first Drake, which is going to be a Comtech Drake, so not the most impactful singular Drake. In fact, probably the worst singular Drake you could get. So, you know, it's not going to be like amazing to get this first Drake, but I imagine they're going to want it just so they can get something better than a singular Chemtech Drake here on the map. Right now, though, pretty slow, pretty standard start here, aside from that early gank in the mid lane. Luck is up in CS, just because that's what Lilia does in the top lane. Unsurprisingly, the Jace is up in CS. I will say something I find interesting is that Ornn opted into the grasp of the Undying into the Jace, and unfortunately, will be dying in this fight. Luck is here. Oh my goodness! Wario Tofu gets the knockback, walking away with no HP, but Luck gives a little bop and a boop on 2 Orns, a little ram head, and cleans up that top lane tank.
Yeah, meanwhile, in the bot side, though, one plate has already been taken from Aphelios and Sona, like we said, and he's going to get another plate for themselves. This bot lane putting in work right now. Lulu and Kog, unfortunately, aren't being played towards, so even when they want to be aggressive, even though they're the weaker ones, they need to be a little bit babysat until they can get some items under their belt. But like you said, really good job from Warrior Tofu to deny the second charge of the Ornn ultimate, because if he gets hit by that, he most likely dies there. So very, very smart play, allowing Luck to clean it up. So right now, 1-1 apiece for both of these guys. But DOGG, right now, in my opinion, just out-mechanicking PFG at the moment.
Yeah, and it's also important to note that DOGG, they did, in fact, want to get a better Drake on the board as they went and they picked up that first Drake of the game pretty quick, as Dulce just wanted to get that, soloed it with the Volibear, utilizing that W damage to just clean that up real quick for themselves. Now it's a Cloud Drake on the map. Ooh, there's a little bit of a trade down here as another plate is getting cashed in for the Aphelios. The man is huge right now. He is 400 gold up on the Kog'Maw purely from these plates and the coal.
Yeah, and he's sitting on 1,100 gold right now. He's going to have a really nice back once he kind of shove this lane in a little bit here. And like you said, they pick up that dragon in that bot side. Now they can kind of maybe potentially turn their attention towards this Rift Herald, right? We want to see everybody tick 6, and that's when the big team fight happens. That's when everybody starts, migrating towards that top side. I think it would be in Aphelios' best interest if they end up trying to contest that Rift Herald. Just stay in the bot side. Get more plates for yourself here. Become this big monster, 6 legs deep, going in onto Warrior Tofu.
Yeah, 6 legs going for a trade up here onto Warrior Tofu. Both are about a quarter health up there, but Luck is waiting in the wings. Does not have the... yeah, it's going to get ultied under tower. Luck's going to get knocked up by the Ornn. Now they're both trapped under there, and Warrior Tofu is going to get stuck. Luck is going to be forced to flash. 6 legs staying alive under the turret. I was going to laugh about Grasp of the Undying, but this man, he did not die.
He didn't die. And right now we see Dulce as well, picking up camps in that bot side, stealing them away from Lilia. Unfortunately, all that time spent for nothing. This Lilia is going to go to her bot side. She's going to be like, guys, where are my camps? Where's my Raptors right now? Why am I nearly close in CS to this Volibear, as things have settled down just a little bit, but after everything is settled, almost a 1k gold lead for DOGG at the moment. And we're going to see if Luck ends up going down towards his bot side. No ultimate available. This Lilia, kind of useless in my opinion.
Yeah, Lilia not doing a whole lot right now. Did get an early kill through some auto attacks and good timing. Maybe looking for an opportunity right here, but Sluter drops the miasma and will deny further assault from that. Now Dulce is going to find an opportunity right here. Does have the flash, going to be looking to try and get in right there, but unable to make much else happen. So that is a gank from both sides, a gank and a counter gank, not really amounting to a whole lot for anyone here. Both bot lanes are resetting right now. Aphelios not able to quite complete a full item on that first recall, on that second recall there, excuse me. Gets the Noon Quiver and the stat and the purchase shard. That is the name of the item, the little lightning bolt. Will build likely into the Storm Razor. It's what a lot of crit 80 carries are building first item. It's turned out to be the most value you can get in terms of damage and in terms of the gold you spend on it. So a lot of crit 80 carries are opting into that. If not Gale Force, Luck is in the mid lane. Is going to be looking to get a little bit of damage down onto Sluter. Vision of Empire will drop a slow, but that's about it. In the bot lane, Carino just farming 1v1 against the Coggers as Sona roamed up to assist Volibear on that Herald, and that was picked up by Dulce.
That's going bot as well, right? If you're Dulce here, you send that bot, you get as much gold, first tower, everything onto Carino and Griffin right now, because if he gets to that point, Aphelios right now nearly 20 CS up, 3 plates to his name. Like, he's in a very good position right now. He's also got red and blue guns as well, so he can fight and potentially, if they look to maybe contest this Rift Herald. But if I'm Dulce, I'm beelining it bot right now.
Yeah, maybe look for that beeline, utilize that ultimate, get a dive right there, and secure that first turret before even the plates fall. So that is something to look forward to if you are on the side of Dorado. Really accelerating this Aphelios. 0-0-0, but so much gold. And with the coal finished out here, that is plus 350. And now Aphelios, through pure grit and determination, has a 1k gold lead over the Kog'Maw.
That's pretty much all the gold lead DOGG has, right? It's about 1.5 in their favor. 1,000 of that is just sitting onto Aphelios at the moment, because they are going to go for that dragon, and I assume, no, Dolce isn't going to drop that Rift Herald just yet. Maybe wants to just throw a mid to get some gold onto Sluter, get that Roa going.
Yeah, get that rower, what? I don't know what region I'm from now. Get the Roa on to Sluter as soon as possible. There's a little bit of a trade to up here. Six Legs going to be going for the Ornn combo right now, and he gets it flawlessly. Warrior Tofu, you gotta respect the Mage, Death Knight, Paladin, Bruiser, Wizard, Warlock, Ornn in the top lane. Or else you turn into a statistic of people getting one shot by Ornn.
Yeah, that was really nice from Six Legs Deep. It looked like he was gonna lose it. He was like 50% HP, less than that, and that combo came in, right? The brittle proc into the extra brittle proc, into the slam, into the bonk, and Sluter, another dream.
Sluter will not be able to get the petrifying gaze, and will get a ton of damage dropped onto them, but the Swain ulti's not going to be enough. Here's going to be a slowdown into a stun in the bot side. Ragnar trying to walk away, dropping the shield on themselves, but Carino is able to close the gap. But here comes the TP from Warrior Tofu. But will he be able to do a whole lot? He gets rooted up by Carino right here. Dulce is going to try and stop him, but trade his own life to try and keep the AD carry and Sona alive. Both are low. Both are limping away right now with no summoners, but Warrior Tofu is not going to be... he's not going to be getting any more here, aside from that first kill onto the enemy jungler. But now Griffin and Carino are kind of trapped down here until they can get some backup.
Yeah, they don't want to let it crash. They are just going to back up, maybe put some plates, potentially. Nope. Looks like PFG just going to shove the lane in, not get too much out of it. And these lilting lullabies, unfortunately from Luck, have just been an absolute stinker, right? 2 of them so far. 1 in the top lane doesn't result in a kill. 1 in the mid lane doesn't result in a kill. And you're pretty much gated as Lilia with your ultimate. You are really only effective when you have that up, when you flash and hit a 5-man or a 4-man or whatever. And when you use those and you can't follow up, you don't have any follow-up, you can't get any kills or anything like that, you just you go back to just farming your jungle while this Volibear is ganking your bot lane, picking up objectives, right? The dragons, the heralds, right? He's 2-0 on the dragons, 1-0 on the heralds. I mean, Dulce Herrero, I was a hater on the Volibear pick. I still am, but he's just simply out jungling Luck at the moment. You give this man any jungler, he probably would have done the same.
Yeah, sometimes you just have the better mindset for taking advantage of the power of the jungle role, and Dulce making the most of what could be seen as a suboptimal pick. Personally, like, I know Volibear is still not amazing. He did get some buffs on the, I think it was 13.9. He got a couple of buffs to his W damage, which was kind of decent, but, you know, not amazing. We actually have first items completed. There's a gank on top side, but will not amount into anything. Again, a gank on bot side that will also not amount into anything. But, you know, we were looking at items. These first items are completed for the AD carries, and Carino has been scammed by the shopkeeper, building the Static Shiv first item.
Static Shiv for himself. I have seen some Static Shiv rushes for AD carries. I'm not sure if this is a play. It provides a lot of wave clear, provides a lot of utility. We will see, potentially, if he's red and white, he may be able to just get a huge amount of procs off. I'm gonna wait. Let him cook a little bit, Becky. Let me see it in action before I judge.
Look, the last time I spent 25 minutes talking about an item build, it ended up being that we were all wrong on the desk, and the allegedly suboptimal build was actually the only item build that was able to win any games. So, you know, I'm not gonna you really talk too much trash about the static shiv. In personal tests from myself and other AD carries I know, it's not really performed up to the level of other items, especially the Storm Razor. But let's see what happens. Let's let him cook. Let's let him cook. See what he has on the table. But Kogma the tried true recipe here of the Ginsu's rush. We'll be looking to get some more on-hit items on this champion. Those on-hit builds are feeling quite exciting. So yeah.
But now we just see, you look at the gold lead right now, it's a relatively quiet game, right? 5 kills in 16 minutes. But DOGG have been able to get themselves a nice 4,000 gold lead. Like we said, it's based off of mechanics, it's based off of turret plays. They've just been having control of every single objective. They are going to forego this third dragon that'll put them on Mountain Soul Point. Instead, they're going to look to potentially just secure the Rift Herald. I don't know if they're getting greedy. I don't know if they want their cake and they want to eat it as well. The dragon is falling down right now.
Yeah,
I
but it's
don't
not
know
falling
if
very
PFG
quickly. It's surprisingly going down slow despite Kog'Maw, and he has burned his W, so his team fight presence is going to be very low. Here comes the Ornhorn. It's going to knock with the Kog'Maw. We have Dragon at 1,700 right now. Cleanse is going to stop the Sona ulti, but it's going to go down. It's going to get stolen by Volibear. TY4 Leash, and now Carino is going to be looking to try and get the Moonlight Vigil right here, but Slippery Jalapeno gets over the wall. He's going to be trying to get some flashes, some auto attacks onto the back line. He's going to be shredding the back line. You thought Kog'Maw was a frontline DPS. No, he is an assassin, and he is blasting your carries as your front line falls to Afro Zonite. Great positioning there from Slippery Jalapeno to make the most of this first item, Coggers.
You don't call yourself Slippery Jalapeno if you can't dip, duck, dodge, and dive out of these fights, Becky. And that's exactly what he did. Yes, they lose the dragon, which is unfortunate, but a lot of crucial kills go on to all the right members, right? Kog'Maw picks up 2 kills. I believe Lilia picked up a kill here, and I think even Swain picked one up. So overall, you get a lot of gold direct injected into your veins if you're PFG. And not even 2 minutes ago, it was a 4,000 gold lead for DOGG. If you look at it now, it's back to 1.5. Everything that they've amassed, all that hard work that they put into getting these turret plates, gone in the instant.
Yeah, in a singular moment, a singular team fight, Dorado lost their gold lead. Their focus on that Herald could be the death of them. However, they did still secure that Drake for themselves, and oh no. They did still secure that Drake for themselves, and we are going to get to a pause as, of course, Swain did see DC there, and the spectate timer, it was not nearly enough for the Swain to get back. Let me click chat. See, yep, it was just a mid DC for sure. So the Swain, he's got to feed the hamster, get it back into the hamster wheel, and we can get ourselves back into the game soon enough. So looking at some items here, we have.
A summoner has reconnected.
It looks like mid is going to be reconnecting soon, but we have Echoes of Helia built not just on the Sona, but on the Lulu as well. Lulu has still been building Shrelias on this patch, so it's kind of interesting to see the Echoes on her.
Yeah, I'm surprised. You can get some pretty decent value out of it. Love to see at the end of the game, if we can see how much healing each of those have. I think it's just a better on Sona, just indefinitely, just because of how many ways you can apply it and everything like that. I do like the Shrelias for Lulu, especially if you have a Kog'Maw, right? Your main worry is just letting him, speeding him up, getting him into positions where he can, use his range and stay out of some of the CC that is on the side of DOGG. An extra heal won't stop him potentially from the burst of somebody like the Aphelios ultimate or like something like Sluter, right? If you could get him out of range, if you can get him to reposition, Slippery Jalapeno, obviously we saw in that last team fight, did work when he was in the right moments, in the right areas, and he just shredded through everything that was DOGG. But, maybe they know something we don't. I think, both of these guys, both of these squads being a little bit more experimental. And I said we've had a week on the patch, but even then, that's not enough. A week on the patch isn't even enough for pro players to figure stuff out. let alone platinum diamond players, right, in this league. So they're still experimenting. They're still trying to figure stuff out, and in their own head, hey, this has been working. This has been really good. So let me run it in these comp games here. Have yet to be seen. I think Carino Static Shiv, not the best item. We let him cook. I don't think he put too much damage out in that dragon fight.
Yeah.
But Echoes of Helia, just a standard, pretty solid standard item.
Mhm. Yeah, I will say for the Static Shiv, he did kind of click the ulti button and not a whole lot else, to be quite honest. So it's understandable that the Static Shiv not putting in a whole lot of work right now. We still gotta wait for some more team fights. Let him hit a few more champions. Let him proc it a few more times. Maybe we'll see some magic happen. Once he gets his IE, we'll have those crits on the table as well. So there's still some time to make the most of the Static Shiv, but for right now, a little bit of a failed recipe, but there's still time. He could still salvage it. I've seen what they do on Food Network. I've seen what they can spin as a success. You have on Chopped, but
Chopped. I love
that's
that show.
that's beside the point. And here we are dropping hot into a team fight as Warrior Tofu is going to be trying to secure that blue buff. Here comes Kog'Maw. Kog'Maw does not have flash, does not have protection, has no backup, and he will get exploded right there. That's a lot of true damage, though. Mark that down. True damage Kog'Maw. So yeah, something to note about that Drake fight is that even though PF Goblins were able to win, they did end up blowing flash on a lot of their primary target, on a lot of their primary members. So that's something that Dorado has.
Yeah, the Summoner spell investment was heavy here, right? And so now Dorado, they're just going to recognize it and be like, okay, we can ult onto this long-range carrier. Now a single man lilting lullaby.
Oh my goodness, the stops Luck from getting any luckier with those shots. And now it's just going to try and kite back with the bowling ball, with the slows, but the damage is not enough. Now Sluter is just going to clean up those damage threats. Now Spicy Jalapeno is going to get hit by that slow, hit the stun, dropped in the miasma, and has simply surrendered their life. Will not even get the trade back. And this Herald is getting so much done here that it is illegally being done. Gotta be quite honest. And Swain, sitting bot lane for an eternity, does not even get the outer turret.
Yeah, that's just unfortunate. It was 4,000 gold at 16 minutes. Then it went 1.5 at the 18 minutes. And now at the 20-minute mark, Becky, 8,000 gold for DOGG. A huge amount of gold for PFG to kind of come back from. And it might be impossible here. The Infinity Edge Static Shiv has been completed for Carino. 2 items on Sluter as well. That Roa is nearly fully stacked along with the Archangels. 2 items on Ornn as well. And Kog'Maw is still sitting on a Rage Blade and some Dreams right now.
And a Rage Blade is not terrible, but this Kog'Maw still does not have, those abilities leveled. The Q in particular is something that Kog'Maw really makes use of in the later stages of the game, but he's only got that at level 3. That's a lot of attack speed that's missed right here. And this Baron is going to get started up. They're going to try and flip it right now.
Luck too.
He's looking for an opportunity, but 6 leg deep. They're going to just pull off and start the team fight. Afro is going to get knocked up. He's going to have to flash away. Warrior Tofu is going to go into the back line to do absolutely nothing. Here comes the Ornn Horn, knocking up 3 targets, including Ragnar. And Kog'Maw, the front line, back line DPS, is not able to find success in this attempt, this iteration of the magic. And there was no magic to be done as they are swiftly routed by Dorado.
And the worries of not having a front line have been fulfilled here, Becky. As you pointed out, what does PFG do when they are behind, when they have to force fights themselves? Warrior Tofu went in, got squashed like a Goomba, right? Afrozonite was able to do as much as he could with the ultimate, had to flash out. And when you're flashing back to your Kog'Maw, back to your Lulu, these rest of DOGG team are just going to walk right through you. Unfortunately, Cyprian Jalapeno still didn't have that flash up, so wasn't able to outmaneuver, wasn't able to really get too much done, and no one on DOGG's side died at all. Every member of their team got the Baron, and they're going to work their way towards this Mountain Soul. And you remember that third dragon fight, Dulce stole that dragon. Despite losing the fight, they put them on soul point, and so now this should be easy for them, unless Luck is the hero that PFG needs.
Yeah, can he get a lucky shot here, a lucky smite into this pit? They do have flash, they do have everything here, and Luck's gonna go for it, but the watch out Eep is not enough to secure it as Volibear. Dulce is prepared, hits the D key at the right time, washes his hands of the deer that he just picked up for himself, and will just continue with the team to start the siege in the mid lane, in the bot lane, get those waves moving, and get ready to use this 12k gold lead to rain hell on PF Goblins.
DOGG showing why they were undefeated, I believe, in the regular season, clinically dismantling PFG's composition, taking every objective, taking every fight. They only had one slip up, and it was that dragon fight. After that, they laced their boots up, they tightened up, they put their Sunday best just so they could put PFG in the dirt in game one.
Absolutely, looking to just get this first game. And I will clarify what you said there about standings, but in a moment here, as Griffin does land the crescendo there, but will not amount to anything as of right now, just trying to keep them away from the team as they siege through topside, 2 inhibs down. Now Ornn on bot is just getting this cannon right here, keeping the cannon safe, just trying to get any amount of damage done. Ornn does not care about anyone, anything, doesn't care about you, doesn't care about me as much as I want him to. Dulce is going to be going in with the stun right now, getting a little bit of taking quite a bit of damage here from Slippery Jalapeno, who has finished the Bork, but will it be enough? Petrifying Gaze goes wide right here as Afro is going to pop the ulti, but we're going to see our final fight of the game potentially is, oh, that is a great Ornn ultimate into the Moonlight Vigil, into the slam Dunkarino from Dulcerero, and that will just be another clean ace from the side of Dorado Gaming. The dog car is riding high once again here for the side of Dorado as they take game one in the semifinals.
And I owe you an apology, Dulcerero. I apologize. I wasn't really familiar with your game here. I was like, the Volibear is not that good. I don't love it. This man has 14 out of 19 kill participation. He got everything he needed in that early game, right? The gank off into the mid, got the objective in the dragon, got every single one, Rift Herald, Dragon, Baron, everything. Just simply out jungled Luck at every step of the way. And unfortunately, even if you are Lilia, even if you can rotate these camps, you gotta do something with your lilting lullabies, because every single one resulted in pretty much no kills. And after that, this volley is just gonna out gank you, out value you, just simply outpace you. So very good job from DOGG. I like Dulcerero as the jungler and just kind of exerting his will. He simply outhands them, and he was the engine, the catalyst that allowed Carino, that allowed Sluter to start carrying these games.
Yeah, giving Sluter the ability to really put the team on his back, do so much damage in those fights. And, you know, the Aphelios as well did not quite get a chance to check how much Static Shiv had done by the end of the game. But honestly, I think he could have literally built any item that did any kind of crit damage, and it would not have really mattered at the end of the day. They were just so unbelievably far ahead in that game that at some point it did not matter, because they had the soul point check. You know, they could get the Baron, they had those frontline members, and there was just absolutely no real tools that PF Goblins had to fight once they started falling behind. But that is going to close out our first game here. But this is a best of 5. This is not a best of 1. It's not even a best of 3. Best of 5. You got to win 3 games to claim your place in the finals. Dorado's got 1 down. Can they get the next 2 without PF Goblins pulling it back? We'll have to see about that when we get back here in the draft for game 2. So stick around. We'll see what these teams can cook up for our next game after our break.
on hit on him quite frequently, right? We also saw the AP variant as well.
Yeah.
PFG picking that up right now, but DOGG, Carino just putting on a clinic in that bot lane, right? I mean, these two nearly took the turret down. No, they did take the turret down themselves in that bot lane, right? With a little bit of help from Dulce here, but they pretty much got it down to 4 plates off of sheer mechanics alone and trading. So really, really good. If it ain't broke, you don't got to fix it. So I like the fact that they put the affiliates in. I wouldn't be surprised if they just rotate the Sona as well.
Yeah, I would not be too surprised
Ooh,
if they're going
Braum?
for the Braum instead, and I think that's pretty good into the Varus. It prevents the ultimate from just cheesing some early kills onto the Aphelios. It gives them a little bit of safety down here, and it definitely will block up a lot of what Goblins will want to do in the later stages of the game. I will say, in terms of Varus sort of falling out of favor, despite, theoretically being good with on-hit, unlike Kog'Maw, the extra on-hit damage he gets is just not as good with just Ginsu's alone. So his early item power spikes are a lot weaker if you go with that on-hit build. However, AP is still just as good as it was on last patch for the Varus, and lethality has actually been on an uptick for Varus builds. So as a Varus build enthusiast, I keep track of these things. The Dorado will pick up the Ahri as their mid laner, and the response from PFG will be the Annie. Two pretty safe, pretty standard mid laners, not really revealing a whole lot. So with cards sort of still not entirely on the table, these teams are going to have to think about what they want to ban away for Phase 2. Junglers and top laners are still all available.
Yeah, and if PFG is smart, they'll probably just give their top laner a counter pick here, right? I think they can lock their jungler in. DOGG might ban some out right now, but instead, they're going to take the gangplank away preemptively. Zinzao, PFG are banning that away as well. So jungle pools slightly getting pinched here, but so far it's been a hodgepodge of bot laners and supports here. 380 carries have been banned. 2 supports have been banned so far, and now we're getting into a couple jungle bans here. So sprinkled everywhere. Top lane ban, jungle ban here. Still a lot of good stuff available, right? Hecarim, Kha'Zix, 2 of those lethality junglers that have just thrived in this patch as well. Kayn was banned away last game, so that's something maybe either of these teams could pick up here. A lot of immobility from PFG. Kayn into Varus, really, really nice if you go into that Shadow Kayn. But I want to see potentially a tank coming out from DOGG, because that lethality build, as the Kha'Zix gets locked in for Goblins here, that Varus, if he ends up going lethality, you don't have a front line. If your only thing is the Braum, can just chew through this Aphelios and Ahri here. So maybe we'll get some beefiness. Maybe we'll get some tankiness. Potentially could be a blind Malphite. I wouldn't be surprised if they just lock that in. Still very, very good in that top lane. But now they've got to rotate their jungle and their top lane salutes. Let's see what DOGG go. Ooh,
yeah, they're going to start with the Poppy, which is not a bad response into at least the Kha'Zix, and will stop the Nautilus hooks. But for the rest of PFG, it doesn't really do necessarily a whole lot. Kha'Zix here is getting blind picked, which is definitely fascinating. Luck is going to try and take the game into their own hands in this time, and Kha'Zix is definitely an incredibly strong pick on this patch. And you were wanting frontline, well, here it is. Now lethality Varus is not looking so good, but with all these tanky frontliners, AP Varus, hello, could find a lot of value. And we do have respawning into those tanks. The set could be the pick, but it still needs to be locked in, as they still got a couple seconds to think about it, and there it'll be.
You see my face, Becky? I don't like this PFG composition at all. I like. Yeah. Kha'Zix into Braum and Poppy, right? Like, how do you even jump in? The moment you start flying in the air, boom, the fly swatter comes in. Poppy activates the W, and you are grounded. You are done. And the Aphelios and Braum, there's so much protection there. You're not jumping onto the Ahri because she's got the dash going. And what, are you going to solo out a Mundo who's going to be having 4 million HP? This Kha'Zix is going to have to put in a ton of work early game to get even a modicum amount of value here. GOGG have drafted themselves a very good composition, reactive to everything that's been on the board here. This VRS Nautilus just have to pop off, in my opinion, if they want any chance of winning. PFG's composition, it seems like they're just like, you know what? I want this champion. I want this champion. I want this champion. Let's just all lock in our favorite champions or what we want to play, and hopefully it works here. This is so disjointed, right? Because Annie is like a control mid laner. You use her to kind of keep tabs on the Ahri or potentially, you know, zone the Aphelios away, but you need follow-up damage. Right now, you just have a Varus and a Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix has to jump in, and he's not going to have a good time jumping into Braum, Poppy, and Mundo, so it's going to be really rough. Saving grace potentially is that the set can ult the Mundo into the back line, but as long as DOGG are positioning themselves well, they will never allow that here. PFG's composition. Becky, I know you're going to ask me at the end, like before we go to break, whose do I like? I'm going to tell you right now, I like DOGG's.
Yeah, DOGG, I'm not gonna even like try and pretend that I like what PF Goblins has brought to the table here. I do think that you know, in a theoretical magical candied fantasy land, like maybe the front line of Dorado just forget that they have an 80 carry, and Kha'Zix can jump back there and one piece the Aphelios. But this is kind of the Kha'Zix problem, right? Kha'Zix is really good in solo queue because everybody picks squishies in solo queue. You know,
Nobody
you can just
talks.
pick. No, nobody picks tanks. Nobody's paying attention to anyone else but themselves. So Kha'Zix is fantastic at exploiting that environment. When you get into competitive, it gets a lot harder to play the Kha'Zix because if you draft him too early, what the other team can do is just pick highly effective bruiser picks that Kha'Zix cannot one piece. So he is unable to really do a whole lot. He ends up becoming completely useless and is even more useless when you consider that they have Poppy, who, like you said, is just a fly swatter, bringing him down from on high. And like, it's just like, I don't know. Like, I don't know, man. The only thing that realistically saves this game is AP Varus. I don't want to, like, maybe I'm coping, and I'm definitely coping, but AP Varus can actually one-shot frontline tanks. You have some better options here with the on-hit item changes, but, you know, all of that aside is just not looking so hot here for PF Goblins, just in terms of draft. But anything is possible here on Summoner's Rift. I say this every week because this is not the high levels of competitive play. This is low to mid tier gaming. You can't expect everybody to play perfectly, so anything can really happen. It's not entirely possible. The odds are not in your favor, but anything can happen. So we're just gonna have to see which team will perform on the day. Uh, so with that said, I think we are good to go to a quick break. When we come back, we will be in the game here for game 2 of our semifinal series between Dorado and PF Goblins. Dorado 1 game up, PFG looking to tie it up. We'll see which will find success, which team will find their win, and which team will continue on the series getting one step closer to finals. So stick around. We'll have the result for you after a quick break. Welcome back, everybody, here on the Rift for Game 2 of our series between Dorado Gaming Gamma and PF Goblins. The Goblins setting up a 5-stack in the brush, looking to potentially catch someone out here. No vision currently in that pixel brush there, so they
It
could
moves.
sneak in and potentially find Griffin, but it looks like they're not really going to think about it. They're just standing here thinking about trying to prevent a potential invade from the opposing team. You know, Braum is very effective at those early invades, so not too surprising that they'd be a little bit cautious about that. So it's just going to be a pretty standard start for both teams. You know, no bloodshed before minions spawn, which, you know, sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. Looking around the map right now, looking at some summoner spell selections, some keystone selections. Once again, we do have the cleanse on Carino here. Who actually, I don't remember if Carino had cleanse last game or Ghost. I think the Kog'Maw had cleanse last game, and that was Jalapeno.
Jalapeno. Yeah, Jalapeno had Ghost, or sorry, Cleanse, and Carino had Ghost. They've
So they've
swapped their
traded.
spells.
Yeah, they swapped. They also swapped starting items as Jalapeno has started with the Cull, and Carino has opted into going Doran's Blade this game instead of the Cull. So, you know, different concepts here, different ideas, you know, trying to utilize these champions' strengths as best as possible. Aside from that, everything else is pretty standard. We do have the lethal tempo VRS, so this is indicating on-hit VRS, not the AP VRS, beloved AP VRS.
Could still be AP. You never know.
He
Maybe
could
we'll
be
do, like, hybrid.
AP but less efficient. That is definitely possible. I've seen weirder from Varus, so I'm not gonna put anything out of the realm of possibility for this champion. The Ahri did pick up the Ignite as a summoner spell instead of going for the TP. Definitely looking to be aggressive onto Annie.
Ooh, Warrior.
Kind
Nice
of
pulling.
ooh, kind of a spicy trade there. The set getting a lot done. We do have a hook in the bot side, as that's just going to be a protective shield, keeping both of these supports from losing too much in that trade. So nothing too fatal here. No fatal errors quite yet, as we get into these early stages as the junglers finish their clears. Kha'Zix ending on top, Poppy on the bot side. We'll see what these junglers can do, but Ragnar's going to be looking for a little bit of something right here. We'll get the hook onto Carino. The Ignite is going to go down. The Cleanse will fire as well. Now Griffin's going to be taking quite a bit of damage right here from the shield, from the Varus. Now Varus could be in a little bit of danger, as Carino is looking to try to pop that stun, and it will indeed get popped. As now Dorado is going to be here on the backside. Is going to be looking to get some damage down with those Qs, with those auto attacks, but Slippery Jalapeno is not afraid. He's flashing forward. He's charging the piercing arrow, and it's piercing the hearts of Dorado Gaming Gamma, and now we'll just cut back with that lethal tempo, picking up a triple kill for themselves. In the mid lane, we have Luck walking through, saying hello, and Dorado have managed to absolutely fumble this early game on bot side.
It all went Ahri when Carino unfortunately ate that hook. Griffin needed to tank the hook from Ragnar so that Carino can trade back the damage. As now Sluter.
Okay, Sluter is going to go a little aggressive there, but does not get any more follow-up damage. Now Kha'Zix could be in a little bit of danger. Goes to get dove on by the Poppy. And here comes Ragnar. Dorado is going to be the one in danger now, as Luck looking for a little bit more damage right here. Can't get in range, does not have leap, does not have slow, doesn't have anything to close that out. But Ragnar will eat the charm, walk away pretty safely here. And now Warrior Tofu is going to be looking for a fight, but these briefcases are oh no, my lord, that man just got turned into roast chicken. We have a fight going on right here as Carino is going to be getting jumped on by the Kha'Zix right now.
No
taking
sums.
quite a bit of damage right here. No sums on either side of the bot lane. And now here comes Dorado trying to respond, but Slippery Jalapeno with the double buffs is doing so much damage. Trying to fire even more auto attacks here. Not quite enough from the red buff or those autos. And no piercing arrow to close out those kills. But oh man, Slippery Jalapeno guy is furious right now.
Oh my lord, he's feasting on DOGG at the moment. Carino and Griffin have gifted him 3 kills, right? And you see Dulce, he's trying to do something. He's trying to get it. He's like, oh, an immobile Varus. I'm Poppy. I can E him into the team. I can do everything I can. But he's just not there in time, and unfortunately goes down. Carino went down, and so now you don't have your damage. You don't have your AD. You don't have anything to kind of finish off Jalapeno or Kosher or Luck here. So team compositions be damned, Becky. I mean, if you get a 4-0 lead in bot lane, you can do anything. You can draft any champion.
Yeah, you can draft any champion you want if you're gonna have a 4-0 lead down here, and Luck is going to just show up again, realizing that hey, this bot lane is so unbelievably far ahead right now. I'm just gonna make sure that they can keep that lead rolling, but the HP bars are actually rather low for these bot laners here, so they have to play a little safe right now as the wave gets pushed into them. And they will just look to collect this here. Ragnar taking a lot of those Braum Qs. They don't hurt a whole lot, but they do hurt a little bit. So, you know, you can't eat too many of them. I know they're delicious, but you gotta stop eating them eventually.
Oh, 6 legs. Dodges out the pull. Unfortunately gets hit with the haymaker. And 6 legs tried to go for that ambitious solo kill, but I think Set in the one thing that he excels at is just beating you in a solo lane, right? Just taking those fights, taking those skirmishes as the red and white guns are rotated down to the bot lane. That'll get you a lot of plates and that'll do a lot of damage onto those turrets. So Carino picking up a turret plate for himself here. Very nice, trying to even out some of that gold that was so generously gifted to Slippery Jalapeno.
Yeah, Slippery Jalapeno did also get a plate for themselves in the bot side, so that plate will definitely help Carino, but it is not anywhere close to closing that gold gap between these two AD carries. And I'm looking at those items. I don't know what you're seeing, but I'm seeing a fiendish little codex right there on Varus's back, you know, in the backpack right now. This is going to be a Naturous Varus. This is going to be that AP build. Or at least AP hybrid. Okay. I am excited. Now, when you are going AP, if you intend to one-shot, you want to go with Halo Blades because you get those stacks a lot faster. But he might be going for... Oh, I'm talking about Varus builds again. And here's a whole team fight, or a whole 1v1 in top side here.
That'd be a 2v1.
Yeah, 2v1 here as Dulcerero has arrived and Warrior Tofu's got nothing in the tank to keep them alive. But they're going to try and still close it out right here. But 6-legged Steep will stay alive, enough HP to avoid certain death. But Luck's going to go in and get sent away with 300 gold in his pocket. Thanks for the free escape, Poppy. As 6-legged Steep will be 6 feet under here in the top lane.
Yeah, Dulce needed to channel that just a little bit sooner. I get what you're trying to do, just that burst came out from Luck a little too quickly. Slippery Jalapeno is left by his lonesome self, but should be fine. Has the ultimate, has the full summoner spells available in his back pocket. Nautilus roaming up after that kill into the top side after securing that away, securing that kill on 6-legged Zeep. They're going to go for that Rift Herald here. And right now, PFG mimicking what DOGG did in game 1, having complete control over the objectives, having a winning bot lane as Carino will blow the cleanse for the Varus ultimate.
Yeah, how winning is it anyways? It is still a 1k gold lead for Varus because those kills do amount to something. You know, 4 kills is worth quite a lot here. But the gold lead is definitely not as high as it could be because they sent Ragnar up to help with that Herald. They end up dropping quite a few plates over to Carino in that bot side, which will definitely help this Aphelios get a little bit closer to those power spikes. It looks like he is going to potentially be building that static Shiv start once again. Aphelios going to get a free ticket back into the game, and now Luck's going to be looking for an engage on the top side right here. Warrior Tofu's going to flash for the pullback into, Okay, well, they do still get the kill as Luck will just claw that man to pieces. A little funky there from Warrior Tofu, but he gets the job done.
Hey, if it works, it works. I'm not hating this. Luck just bursts down 6 legs deep as Griffin does get hooked here. 3 people are bot lane, but what can you do? Chain of Corruption up once again. Flash Ghost up. Flash Ignite up. Do you want this dive? Really?
Yes. They are absolutely thinking about it right now, but now Poppy's going to get hooked up, and Slippery Jalapeno is going to be waiting to use some summoner spells. Ragnars's actually going to get blasted right here. Is now 3v1. Chains of Corruption comes out, and on the top side, Tofu pulling back in Sluter. Sluter's going to have to flash. They drop the Herald for the set instead of the Fed of Felios, and now the dive is going to get started to be executed, but Afrozonite's going to drop the bear onto nobody in this fight. Carino's going to find forward, fights forward, but get taken down by Slippery Jalapeno. Not enough DPS to match. Now Afrozonite's gonna clean this one up with the angry Fiery Bear, as that is gonna be a 3 kills for nothing on the bot side.
Yeah, they dropped the Herald for the set. They turned that bot around, right? Jalapeno and Zonite just take the 2v3 and they will win that for themselves. Sluter, unfortunately, was seen top lane trying to get a kill, trying to get something in return here. 2-0-1 on Luck, and he's going back to top lane. He's licking his lips, Becky.
Yeah. Luck is looking to get cash in some kills up here, get some first strike stacks, but actually Mundo is doing quite a bit of damage right here. One briefcase would be the end of the alien of the jungle. Mundo, a great predator, as we know. Nothing is more predatory than a CEO. So this is quite dangerous for Kazakhs to be taking these fights up against the Mundo. But he's fine. Everyone's fine in top lane. He will definitely be cashing in that first strike gold, though. Which, gotta say, I'm a first strike enjoyer. I'm a first strike believer. It is my favorite keystone. I build it on whoever I can justify building it on. Griffin getting hooked up, but does not necessarily care. Game's slowing down a little bit here, so this next strike will be coming up soon. Yeah, this is going to be the Stormrazor start this game instead of the Static Shiv. Opting into that, don't know necessarily what the difference is, what the thought process is. You know, maybe he listened to the cast and was like, oh, wait, yeah, I can just build a good item instead of Static Shiv. So, you know, we'll see. We'll see what's happening right now as Warrior Tofu. Dulce is looking for something right here onto Warrior Tofu. Warrior Tofu's going to get pulled back, but it's going to give a decent escape to... Or Dulce is going to give a decent escape to Warrior Tofu with that good old suplex. And Warrior Tofu, the pit fighter, will fight in the pit of 2 other players. 2v1 set wins these. Better bring a third player. And on the bot side of the map, just everything falling apart for Dorado right now.
And Dulce, unfortunately, on this Poppy, not looking as effective as they were on the volley bear here. Just tries to get stuff done. Doesn't have the damage, doesn't have the tankiness, doesn't have a whole lot going for them at the moment. Needs to get that Mythic online, needs to get something done here as Carino and Griffin are just down in this bot lane. Luck is looking right now.
Yeah, Luck is fishing. He's looking. There's no vision. They do not know. Pepe laugh. But they will play a little bit safe here. They kind of suspect something is up, so they won't be too concerned about this right now. Turret will likely be going down soon. We do have a hook coming in from Ragnar right here. Slippery Jalapeno does still have the Chains of Corruption. It will fire. It will land onto Griffin, and that will just be a kill cleanly picked up by the Slippery Jalapeno. A spicy maneuver right there for our AD carry VRS.
And we saw Sluter trying to roam down, but he's on full vision right now. They know where Dulce is. They know where everybody is. Whoa, Ragnar!
Okay, Ragnar might get taken out here as Carino's going to be going forward right now. Gets a lot of healing down, but Slippery Jalapeno does so much damage in response. Ragnar will stay alive through the support of the AD carry. The brothers, you know, the friends, the bot lane allies, keeping each other alive as it should be.
Yeah, if that was my AD carry, he would just let me die, probably.
Yeah.
Slippery Jalapeno, though, looking out for his support, understanding that he is the reason why Slippery Jalapeno is so fed, understands that I need my Nautilus, I need him right next to me, I need him alive, as right now, 7,000 gold at the 15-minute mark for PFG, right? It was 8,000 at the 20-minute mark last game. for Dorado, PFG saying, you know what? Whatever you can do, I can do better right now. As they are looking to take complete control, if they don't already have it, can keep control over these objectives as they are going to pick up the Rift Herald. Mountain Dragon is coming up in 2.5 minutes, and I don't think Dorado can really contest much here.
Yeah, Dorado not able to contest a whole lot around this Herald. Just going to be something very easily picked up for them. Another objective crossed off the list for PF Goblins as their gold lead is insane right now. There's not really a whole lot that Dorado are looking at here to give them assistance. Kha'Zix will be dropping that Herald on the top side here. Charm will be dodged by Slippery Jalapeno. Now Luck is going to be looking to cash in on that investment in top lane. The profits are failing for this poor old corporate Mundo. It's time to sell, everyone. It is bottoming out right here. But Griffin's going to get hooked up right now once again.
Griffin's going to die?
But will not end up falling in the mid lane here, as now Ari's looking for something on top side. Action across the map right here. Saluter's going to be dashing forward, going to get pulled back by Warrior Tofu. The Ignite's going to tick down, but Seth should remain alive. Has enough HP, has enough of that innate healing to keep himself safe.
All things considered, Slippery Jalapeno is going to kill Griffin right now.
That is the end of Griffin's life, or potentially no. Carino might pay for the sins. Okay, nobody's paying for the sins of anybody right now, as both bot laners get away with a whisker of HP.
Wow, both of them surviving here. But I was going to say was, despite everything that's happened, Carino picked up a nice chunk of change, right? Picked up tier 1 bot, tier 2 bot. That's nearly 1,000 gold going into his pocket. And so now he's 2 items. He's even with VRS at the moment, right? Storm Razor, Gale Force for himself. If anybody on the side of Dorado can carry, it should be this Aphelios 2 items in. And so maybe they're feeding for a dragon contest here. This is Mountain Soul potentially going over in the favor of PFG. If they get this, it'll put them on Soul Point. It'll get them towards potentially a 23, 24-minute Mountain Soul here. But Luck and Afrozonite, being the sneaky devils that they are, they're looking for Griffin, and he's going to eat a whole bunch of damage.
Yeah, Griffin's going to get caught out right here. Where have you seen this one before this game? But will actually stay alive this time, does have that completed mythic, and will remain safe, at least for the time being. But getting chunked out right there before the dragon will mean that Dorado are a single member down, and with all the gold that they are down in general, Sluter may be looking for an opportunity. Flash going to come out from Slippery Jalapeno, but he still gets hit by the charm and will get chunked out by VRS. Huge shutdown, but the fight's going to continue right now as Luck is going to get on the backside and actually assassinate the Ari. Carino on their lonesome. Ragnar looking for that hook right there, but the escape from the Aphelios is good. Now Griffin's going to arrive, try and get the stun up onto Warrior Tofu. His Soul Save is going to dive in, keep Luck away. But after slowly walking into this fight, trying to keep Ragnar alive, dropping that flame shield, but the speed is not enough. And after the pick onto Slippery Jalapeno, Dorado have found an angle back into the game.
That was a Calibrum Gravitum stun slow, right? That's what happened. Sorry, Root. He hits him with the long-range sniper, roots him down with the Gravitum, so then Sluter follows up with the ulti into the charm and just gets just enough damage onto Slippery Jalapeno. Cannot throw the Chain of Corruptions down, cannot get any DPS down, and once your VRS is down, your 6-1 VRS, you have to rely on Luck, and you saw what happened. He got the kill onto Sluter, could not chew through 6 legs, could not chew through Dulcery. And what happened was Carino was able to free fire and hit onto everybody, and then Griffin came in with the peel. DOGG's comp finally coming in, finally showing you, hey, this is what we can do. This is how we're going to win fights. If they can just get that opening kill onto Jalapeno every single time, there's not much oomph in the tank for PFG.
Yeah, PFG, just not a whole lot else aside from Varus, and that is just going to be a dead... Oh, wait a minute, who's dead anyways? Luck gets charmed out, not able to finish off that kill right there. And now Ragnar could be in a bit of danger right here. Which support is getting caught out now, as Slippery Jalapeno could be in a bit of danger right here, but here comes the Chains of Corruption onto Griffin. He's going to have to try and walk away, but this VRS is doing so much damage, and popping in the mid lane, popping in the bot lane, as a shutdown goes over to the Ari. Luck has I don't know what Luck is doing right there. That wasn't unlucky. That was unskilled for sure. Don't know what you're doing, buddy.
Yeah, he kind of just walked into the jungle. I think he was chasing Sluter, maybe looking to get him off of a back or maybe catch him in the shot. But unfortunately, Sluter primed and ready. As jungle for support, you take that trade every single time. Don't know what you guys are doing around the Baron. Can't really do much. You can't threaten to take it, maybe to get some vision out. But yeah, GOGG's front line going to be able to take it back easily, muscle their way in. And what's a 7,000 gold lead at around, I believe, 15, 16 minutes? Has now dropped substantially. Is only after this turret goes down, should be about 3.5k. Dulce.
Hey, Ragnar's looking for an engage right here. We'll get the death charge on to Carino, but Carino is fine, and that's going to be a knock away from Dorado, sending Luck away, and Carino picking up 2 more kills. The bat has been lowered another centimeter as Dorado Gaming Gamma find another successful fight, and PF Goblins are going a little bit too goblin mode right now and flailing around, unable to do a whole lot of anything. Luck is going to be potentially looking for a steal right here, but Sluter is on the backside.
Luck
He's going to be looking to try and dive in, looking for a charm. Luck will not be caught. 2,000 on the Baron. It's going to slow down a little bit. They're holding, they're waiting, but it will get smite. The smites crash down, and the winner of the 50-50 is Dulcerero, as good old Kha'Zix will be taken away. And oh no, uh-oh, Stinky, uh-oh. I don't know what's going on. I'm kind of sweating a little bit.
VRS picking up that 3rd item for himself, but after everything that was gifted, after all the charity that was donated to this PFG bot lane, Carino and the rest of DOGG claw their way back. It is only a 1,000 gold lead for PFG, but honestly, these past 3 fights have gone the way of Dorado Gaming here, off the back of both Carino and Sluter really setting these up, these charms onto Slippery Jalapeno. That last fight, though, Dulce did a magnificent thing. Primed the hammer and just sent Luck flying back. It was a 3v3, quickly turning into a 2v3, and Jalapeno and Ragnar can't do much after that. Carino has been positioning himself so well in these team fights. Even though he gets hit by the Nautilus ultimate, he's not in range for any follow-up, so he's just able to tank it and eventually just look to turn these fights around. Really, really well played from DOGG. I mean, most teams down 7,000 gold. The FF gets thrown up. So many kills get down. Like, you eventually just look towards next game. But DOGG, iron mental right now.
Yeah, iron mentality from DOGG. They know their win conditions. They know how to get there. They just got to find it right now. And we're starting to see the weaknesses of PF Goblins comp finally getting paid out here. This as gold evens out for the first time in a long time for both of these teams right here. Yeah, these compositions, the things we talked about with PF Goblins comp, the weaknesses it has, they were doing well in the early game when it was a bit more scrappy, but now as these more coordinated fights, these coordinated plays are going down, it is so much harder for them to find anything across the map. Meanwhile, Dorado are getting everything they want right here. As the Chains of Corruption will go on to Griffin right now, but he is far too tanky to one-shot here. Now Slippery Jalapeno is just on the front lines. Another front line 80 carry from Jalapeno will be taken down here as Luck will just fire out those spikes, but who are you going to isolate, buddy? There are 100,000 minions. There's nobody isolated here. The only person isolated will be you after your team shuns you for this performance. But here comes the fight around the base. Luck is going to get it shut down here, but he's the only one left alive, just trying to get onto Carino, but Carino cleans house and will help Dorado close out game 2, swinging it back in their favor and getting the match point.
And it wasn't even a particularly bad performance from Luck, right? I mean, he's 5-2, 5-3 on the Kha'Zix. Had a pretty solid early game, was able to get things going. It's just, like you said, once the game was getting a little bit more 5v5 focused, once it was getting more objective based, that's where you saw PFG's team composition kind of fall to the wayside. And once again, really good job from Dulce, right? You saw those hammers. The moment those landed, the fight started, right? Because it's a 4v5. You have a brief window, maybe 5 to 6 seconds, potentially even 8, depending on how far you launch them, where it is a 4v5 window and you just take that fight and you win with the sheer numbers advantage. By the time that Annie got back, 2 of her teammates were dead. By the time Kha'Zix got back, both Varus and Nautilus were dead. Really good poppy play from Dulce, but honestly, just really good, iron, steel, whatever you want to call it, the mental fortitude from Dorado to, recognize that, hey, we're down really, really early. This Varus has a bunch of kills, but we'll just make up for it in these team fights. Really, really smart and really, really just, solid gameplay from them.
Yeah, if Dorado was fumbling the early game for content, it was rather entertaining. So thanks for giving us something to watch. But, you probably want to clean that up if you want to really secure this series for yourselves. No need to throw your lives away for our entertainment. I'd rather you win the game and make yourselves finalists. Unless, PF Goblins have something to say about it. So, we'll have to see what these teams will do going into Game 3, what they will have, what PF Goblins have left in the tank here. The Kha'Zix did not work out. Their first draft didn't work out either with the Kog'Maw, so they'll just have to go back into the trenches, get out the spreadsheets, figure out what they can do to respond to this two-threat style Dorado has been bringing to the table. But for the time being, we're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, we'll be on Game 3 of our series, match point for Dorado, and the final last stand for PF Goblins. We'll see if they can turn it around and start the reverse sweep, or if we'll be going to bed early tonight. So stick around. We'll see what happens after a break.
Ooh, yeah, he mad. I'm racking up white diamonds. Throw me in the sky, you would swear the sun shining. Ooh, yeah, he mad. I'm racking up white diamonds. Throw me in the sky, you would swear the sun shining.
In this gothic underground city, we all sin. If I bring a couple rounds with me, then we all win. I came back and brought the crown with me. The king's dead. Break your necklace and your neck, cause everybody's on your head.
Just like kick your butt, go run them up, then paint my nails. Never learned to raise my hand, was too busy raising hell. Everything I know I am, you should go and save yourself. Thought you had my number, huh? Congratulations, played yourself.
Underground utopia, dynasties and dystopia. Fear is never an option, so time is not a real phobia. I'm beating the odds, rising to every occasion. I never defeated the gods. Switch up the mind, nothing but champions coming. I'm rolling on one of those squad.
Hold still, boy, like back then. Talk back till I snap back. This ain't brown, this that dark black. This that pitch black, jet black. Snap your ex, watch me give them flashbacks.
Precious rising fast as lightning, they can't stop it now. If you ain't talking realness, then just change the topic now. They laughing at the top like they can't see the bottom. And they thought I needed help, but I got hit without them. I am sharper than a pack of 100 razor blades. When the smoke clears out of here, but they name gon' fade. I'ma be here doing it my way. They said I should change it up, but what did I say?
Ooh, yeah, he mad. I'm racking up white diamonds. Throw me in the sky, you would swear the sun shining. Ooh, yeah, he mad. I'm racking up white diamonds. Throw me in the sky, you would swear the sun shining.
Hold still, boy, like back then. Talk back till I snap back. This ain't brown, this that dark black. This that pitch black, jet black. Snap your ex, watch me give them flashbacks.
I get that magic all on me, I feel like I'm Tracy McGrady. Enemy circle around me 360, I count them with 8. I've been equipped with the spirit beside me since I was a baby. It's getting chaotic, I made me a product for causing the chaos. Right, you ain't ready. This gothic underground city, we all sin. If I bring a couple rounds with me, then we all win. I came back and brought the crown with me. The king's dead. Break your necklace and your neck, cause everybody's on your head.
Ooh, yeah, he mad. I'm racking up white diamonds. Throw me in the sky, you would swear the sun shining. Ooh, yeah, he mad. I'm racking up white diamonds. Throw me in the sky, you would swear the sun shining.
with the head, got the crown seat sold. Feel it weighing down on my shoulders. Cruise are meant to break by the proudest ones.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our draft for Game 3 of our semifinal series between PF Goblins and Dorado Gaming Gamma. Dorado up 2-0 after a very impressive comeback victory, or, you know, if you believe that they were behind ever, which they were, literally were. They were definitely behind.
7,000 gold at 15 minutes, by the way.
They still gonna pull it back. They still managed to pull it back around and are now up 2-0 here and putting PF Goblins in a little bit of a tough situation here, as PFG will finally ban the Aphelios, or at least thinking about it. Was kind of a menace right here, so not too bad of an idea of a ban for certain. We'll have to see.
Carino has a couple picks left here. He's got the Ashe, he's got the Zeri, the Samira, the Lucian. Not the best of champions at the moment, but there have been some wacky Ashe builds coming out of the woodwork since the since the Rage Blade changes and then the on-hit changes and everything like that. So we may see GOGG pull that out. But Dulce back on the Volibear duty. I still think this champion sucks, like, generally, but Dolce just makes it work. He's just a fiend on it. He just out-jungles Luck every single time. Or, sorry, not every single time, but has out-jungled Luck in that Game 1 performance. As PFG might look to lock in the Misfortune. Actually, they did lock it in, right? I think my draft wall is lagging.
Yeah, no, it is locked in. That is a locked-in Misfortune. Okie dokie. I do like me some Misfortune on this patch, and I do like me some Milio as well. First time this champ has been open in the draft, and PFG will be picking it up right here, as Volibear was the first pick for Dorado Gaming Gamma. That was, maybe it's a shout out to you. I don't know. They know how much of a fan you were of the Volibear in Game 1. They wanted to give you a little bit of a little bit of a taste, you know, a little bit of a sampling of what they have planned for this Game 3 draft. But yeah, a Misfortune. I will say, I don't know how much Misfortune you've seen on this patch, but I've played with some lethality Misfortune, and that champ is gross. It's disgusting.
Really good. It's really good.
It will one-shot everyone. It is very, very good. But Zeri getting picked up right now with the Sona here. A good Zeri partner for sure. The question, I guess, that remains is, what exactly is Zeri going to build on this patch? This actually, unironically, is a static ship angle. You know, I'm not saying, but, you know, more lightning is better. And now we have, when the chips are down, fate of the world on the line, give me the crying man.
So typically what we've seen from Zeri's on this patch is they'll go Triforce into the Runins, right? So if you remember her very, very old build that used to be really busted before she swapped over to the crit build, or sorry, the Kraken build, she would go Triforce, Runins, and then you can go Titanic. And now, interestingly enough, since Shield Bow has now been demoted to a legendary item, you can now also go Shield Bow as well. So you can gain the movement speed, you can gain the attack damage, you can get the Runan's bolts, you can get the tankiness from the Hydra, the Titanic, but also you don't have to sacrifice the Shield Bow, you can get that as well. And so she can become an insanely mobile, beefy, safe champion here. Zeri is absolutely so good once you can get to that 3-item point. Even at 2 items with Triforce Runins, she is a menace on the map. And PFG right now, locking in the Amumu. So I'm expecting a cleanse from DOGG. MF is still very, very good, like you said. Yeah, she one-taps when she goes that Ghost Blade build that we've seen. Also, her ult will start hitting for a crap ton of damage as well if there's follow-up. And Curse of the Sad bullet time has been locked in for PFG so far.
Yeah, it is going to be interesting to see what PFG will bring to the table here. They have top and mid still on the table, same for Dorado Gaming Gamma, unless they flex that Volibear to the top side, which is not impossible, but not entirely likely, all things considered. The Echo will be hovered here, and it will get locked in. Huh. Haven't seen this champion in a while, and I'm not sure it's a blind pick, but we'll see. We'll see. this is one of those things when the chips are down, you gotta play a comfortable champion, and Afrozonite has played quite a lot of Echo in solo queue. It is one of their favorite champions, one of their best champions, so it is
The
time to
most
bring out
played.
the one tricks, and now Vladimir will be the response. Okay, we're seeing some funky champions coming from Gamma. How they close it, though.
I do like the Vladimir, right? That also could be flexed top lane if they want to. Um, Mid Vlad, I think, has been typically more seen here. Also, just really good into the Echo, right? Can kind of trade pretty well. And then once the ball goes down or the dome, he can just W the dome and be fine, right? He just slinks on out of there with the pool, the Sanguine pool. So he's completely fine. Kind of negates one of Echo's big things about him, where he can kind of stun you and trade you for a bunch of damage. Sustains in the lane, and will eventually just, like we said, become a menace at 2 to 3 items at the late game point. Darius being locked in for some top lane control, blinded as well, interestingly enough. And in response, the Fiora coming in from PFG here, gonna be a really, really big problem if he can start countering some of these abilities from Darius, right? The repost from the pull starts getting a lot of these stats going and really starts procking some of those marks, can really become a menace in that side lane and 1v1 and just make it so that you have to send more than one person into the Fiora. But the thing I've seen, and the thing that all problems Fiora seem to face, is that they just can't group. They just don't know how to. They don't have anything to do.
Yeah, well, fortunately for PF Goblins, they haven't won when they were grouping anyways. So this gives them that kind of opportunity to have a different kind of win condition for themselves, with Fiora going on that split push, looking to win that top lane matchup and making the most of it. But it looks like, Sona is still in the game. They've got Dog have put together a really solid team fight composition for themselves. They don't even necessarily have to worry about the split push if they can just cleanly wipe a team fight before the Fiora can get a whole lot done on the side lane. So we'll just have to see what they can do. At the very least, PFG have put together a pretty solid team fight core with the Misfortune, Milio, and Amumu. So they have that going for them. We'll just have to see what they are able to do with that. So in this game 3, do you think that PFG have put together a composition that will allow them to turn this game around, or are Dorado closing it out?
I think this is probably the best composition that PFG have drafted themselves so far, right? Game 1, they had a really big issue without having a front line, right? And they couldn't really capitalize on the Lilia and the outpacing onto the Volibear. Game 2, their problem was that they didn't really have anybody to kill, right? Like, we saw what happened once the grouping started from Dorado Gaming. Even though the VRS got so far ahead, we kind of saw this Kha'Zix, this Annie, this Set not be able to do too much once DOGG just started grouping up as 5 kind of into a death ball like state. And so PFG have drafted themselves the best composition they have in this game 3. Is it enough? Yeah, I think Amumu and Misfortune in their best moments can do so much damage to DOGG, right? Darius is going to be running at you. Volibear is going to be running at you. As long as you have Milio to counter the Sona stun, you press R for R, you reposition, you get Curse of the Sad Mummy down. It locks down the Zeri as well. You can do a lot of damage if you're the Misfortune. Echo can threaten backline. It's just, my issue is, what does Fiora do in these team fights, right? Because you've drafted to yourselves pretty solid team fight from PFG, but is Fiora just going to be on a side lane forever, like all 45, 50, however minutes it takes to end this game? Like, she's going to have to be able to get in and do stuff, and she's going to have to do it off of a flank, which in that regard, I feel like DOGG can just turn around on her so quickly.
Yeah, it is just going to be so easy for DOGG to make that turnaround happen. So like you said, I do think PF Goblins have put together their best comp of the series. I just really don't think it's going to be enough, because as we've seen Dorado perform so well on these compositions that need to group, that need the team fight, and they've executed on these fights so well. So I don't think it's necessarily possible, but again, you see anything in these times. Anything is possible in League of Legends here. So
Anything is possible.
We'll just have to see Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our Game 3 in this VRS semifinal series between Dorado Gaming Gamma and PF Goblins. PF Goblins down 0-2, looking to get their first win of the series and to start the reverse sweep of Legends here. Much like on the other side of the bracket, where LCE have got to find a reverse sweep for themselves. Otherwise, they will see Bing Chiller's hard hat in the finals. But that's a whole other series. We've got this series in front of our faces right now, and we already are eating good right here as Misfortune has found first strike with the Cull. So this is big money for Slippery Jalapeno this game, just looking to get as much free gold as possible here on the enemy bot lane.
Yeah, this could potentially be the final game of this series unless PFG pulls something out of their pocket. But quite honestly, Becky, they had a 7,000 gold lead at the 17-minute mark. Like, I mean, that is as high as gold as you can get in regards to just kind of what you wish for happening in the game and trying to close it out. And unfortunately, they still couldn't do it. Now, PFG have a better composition. I said before in the draft, I said this is the best composition they've drafted out of the 3 games. So if they get ahead like that, if something like that happens again, where they get a massive amount of gold influx into the bot lane and just across the map in general, they can easily look to close it out with an Amumu, with a Misfortune, with an Echo, right? You can't make the same mistakes you did in game 2 if you're Dorado Gaming, because this time they will have the ability to close it out.
Yeah, PFG have better tools to fight in this game, better tools to win those fights. They don't just have a random selection of champions this time around. They have a cohesive composition, theoretically. So we'll just have to see if they'll be able to deliver on that. In the top lane, we've got some funky trades happening. The Fiora does have the Ignite in this matchup, looking to aggress hard on 6 legs deep, get a huge lead up here, and really dominate and take over that lane so they can become that split push threat that will give PFG something to look forward to in the later stages of the game. But for now, it is just going to be a standard start for both sides, similarly to what we've seen previously in this series. We'll have the junglers splitting and going to different sides of the map. Luck is going to be going down to the bot side of the map for PFG, and Dulcerero going up to the top side for the time being. But we'll see exactly what that will amount to. Will the Fiora get ganked? Will bot lane get some help? I would like to see bot lane get some help for sure, but you know, anything could happen here. These players, they've got to keep in mind the stakes.
Stakes are high for PFG, right? Dorado just have to win 1 out of the next 3, right? Even if they drop a game or 2 here, their backs are not against the wall. PFG could be looking to get swept here potentially, as so far a ward gets cleared out top lane. Not a lot of aggression from PFG, and DOGG will kindly take that, right? They don't mind if you're just willing to handshake the lanes here, as you have a Vlad and a Zeri ready to go as Sluter.
Okay, we have an engage in the mid lane right now as Luck is going to find that first bandage toss. The second bandage toss will not go through as Sluter is able to dip and dive away from there with the flash and ghost. So staying alive for the time being, but that is a pretty solid gank. But Dulcerero has found Luck in the jungle, but Luck is on the Amumu. It's going to take a lot of damage right here as Dulcerero is doing so much now. Will still be holding that flash, holding onto that summoner spell, and holding onto it for far too long. You can't save it for next game. There ain't going to be another one.
Dolce should be fine here. Yeah, takes a bite out of Amumu's big head here. Absolutely chomps it down to pieces. 6 legs. It comes back with full health right now. Warrior Tofu was looking to roam, looking to get something done, but now has lost the level lead. And 6 legs, oh my god, it gets full stacks of the Darius passive.
6 legs deep, now deep under turret here as Warrior Tofu is almost certainly going to fall. An easy pickup for the Bali Bear, but on the bot side here, Slippery Jalapeno is going to be looking to get quite a bit of damage right now with those Qs, with those auto attacks, as Carino can only do so much on the Zeri. Griffin and Carino taking a lot from that trade, but it's all okay.
Carino's got a BB gun right now. It doesn't really do too much damage at the moment. Unfortunately, even with all the changes that have happened in regards to AD carry items, Zeri is still a considerably weak early game laner here. So even in the best case scenarios, you're pretty much trading even HP. In this case, Slippery and Ragnar will get the HP lead. And Griffin as well on the Sona has one of the lowest base HPs in the game for a support here. So have to play really, really carefully with that health bar here. As Milio and Misfortune not able to do too much as Carino, once again, just with the raw mechanics, 51 to 37 CS.
Yeah, 51 to 37 in the bot lane here.
Wow.
Yeah, Carino, definitely, you can tell Carino is a good player, and Sluter is going to get hooked up here by luck, but will once again get out with the pool, getting a little bit of healing as well for themselves. So, you know, Sluter is enjoying a nice mid lane safety on that Vlad pick, able to just pull away from all danger they see. So now this first Drake is up, and first move looks like it's going to go over to Dorado, but we'll see what happens. Dulce in the enemy jungle and just clearing out a little bit of vision, but there is quite a lot of vision that they have to contend with.
Yeah, Darius and Vlad, the new blood brothers on the map for Dorado Gaming Gamma here. Both these solo laners doing fine, right? Into the Echo, into the Fiora. Warrior Tofu got the counter pick as well, has a flash ignite as well, right? No TP was looking to get an advantage into that top side, looking to get a kill, but unfortunately went down because of the level lead that Six Legs had, because he tried to roam for that kill onto Dulce. Darius was able to then set up full stack, set up the dive, and then you saw Dulce come in and clean that kill up. All of that off of just one little movement from Warrior Tofu kind of ruined his lane a little bit.
Yeah, that lane definitely not looking great, but at least for, you know, there's still some time. We could still wait for this Fiora to get some items, get a little bit of strength in her pocket right now, as Luck is looking once again in the mid lane, and with enough CC, with enough stuns, you finally can kill Vladimir. It only took everything to do it, but you finally have done it. So, all of those ganks paying dividends here as Afrozonite will pick up their first kill of the game.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times, well, I mean, shame on everybody, as Sluter unfortunately gets taken down. That's the third gank that Luck put into the mid lane, and third time's the charm for them as they're able to get that kill, but they invested so much, and Afrozonite, yeah, he gets the kill onto the Echo. Yes, that's his main champion, the one he's been playing, has the highest win rate in solo queue at the moment, is his most played, but is it enough to carry PFG back into this series, Becky?
I can't really say for certain. It has been a while since I've really personally seen an Echo that has completely dominated outside of solo queue. So, you know,
Yeah.
Afrozonite might be able to pull out the solo queue strategies in this game and really get the game under their own grasp. And honestly, I would really like to see that. But, you know, we still have some other champions in here, including Carino, who's going to be diving in with the Lightning Crash and the Crescendo, looking to just try and blast away Slippery Jalapeno, but Milio is a good champion with only good buttons, so Slippery Jalapeno will stay alive.
Ragnar still has the ultimate available as well. I'm surprised they didn't just trade ult for ult and save Slippery Jalapeno's health bar. Instead, allows him to just tank the full Sona ult plus the Lightning Crash from Carino and everything else. And so now Slippery Jalapeno doesn't have a lot of health to work with at the moment. We'll be able to pick it up. Yeah, if I'm Milio there, I just burn the ultimate, get your MF to half HP, and just let her kind of stay in this lane and let her contest. Because right now, it looks like they are going to go for this dragon, but I feel like Carino and Griffin could do something about it.
Yeah, it's a little risky right here. Vladimir has first move from the mid lane, and bot lane is in position right now. Dulce is on the way, and these are some pretty low HP bars for the mid lane right here. Sluter's going to ghost up. He's going to get rooted down, immediately stunned up by the Amumu, as now looks like the Misfortune ultimate. It is not bullet time in that corridor for sure. but this is still going to be a scuffle in the top lane now as Warrior Tofu is going to be looking to pick that one up. The grand challenge is
Nice.
successful for the Fiora, but now in the jungle, we have a smite. Does go over to Luck, and Luck is going to get onto Dulcerera, who will fire out the ulti, only to just live a little bit longer as Afrozonite hits the button to go back to 6 seconds in the past. And Luck will stay alive. Check out League of Legends Convergence of League of Legends story, now available on... That was bad. I don't know where I was going. Take it away. Take it away.
Becky just went into ad read mode real quick. Wait a minute. Convergence. Wait a minute. Let me reset her real quick, guys. My bad. Let me wind the clock real quick. But yeah,
like the timewinder in League of Convergence, a League of Legends story. Karina dropping the lightning crash onto the bot lane right now, but only just kind of dissuade any further assault from Slippery Jalapeno and Ragnar. But Jalapeno will have control of the lane right now, get that crash back into the lightning crasher in the bot lane, although Zeri's going to stick around to try and catch it and keep the wave in their favor. What? Huh? Buff? Gamer detected in top lane? What's going on?
Warrior Tofu burns the flash.
Gamer detected in mid lane as well. But Sluter's going to get slowed down, and now Luck... Okay, Luck is not able to close that gap, waddling a little too slowly to close that out there, and there's gaming detected across the map right here, and I'm on the floor.
A lot of gamer buttons being pressed at the moment. Flashes burned, ignites burn, ultimates burn. I see the vision, Sluter. I get what you're trying to do. Trying to get a little bit more extra damage. Almost kills Afrozonite. Sluter back again. Oh, that's unlucky.
That is unfortunate.
No, he's not gonna stay for the wave. He's gonna miss it. Afrozonite is also gonna get a little bit more plates for himself. He's gonna be able to scoot himself out of here. Dulcerera just picking up the minion wave, making sure that he can't really get any more plates here. Overall, though, probably the most even game we've had between these teams up until this point.
Yeah, in game 1, it was a complete domination from the bot lane, and in game 2, it was the same, but on the other side. So, in this game, it is a lot more even, although you still have that bot lane gap being created here purely through the hands difference of Carino. And actually, Carino is on the Triforce, which I do really like, but we'll talk about that in a little bit, as now Luck is going to be looking for an engage right here, dropping the Curse of the Sad Mommy, and will very easily pick up 6 legs deep, and now Dulcerera is going to have to walk away here, but this is a Finchy Herald. It will crash into nothing on the top side, as Luck will simply bop the back of the crab and take it down.
Ambitious Rift Herald coming out from them. Dulce, though, is going to die here.
Dulce is dead. Good night. A bench time for Dulce in the top side. Volibear looking a little bit like more what we expected from Volibear game 1, rather than Volibear is actually doing what you would normally see from this champion. It's Afrozonite. It's going to be looking for a fight in the mid lane. We'll get the shield right here, but the Vladimir ultimate is ticking down. Goes for the burst, but not a whole lot of burst right there, as Sluter is still not on that first item in the mid lane here. Still is waiting to get that presumably proto belt. It's just not available yet.
He did get ganked, or I would say camped, as some people would say, in that mid lane, right? Luck came about 3-4 different times. Not able to really get a lot of that CS. Doesn't get any plates in his hand. So yeah, he's going to be a little bit stunted at the moment. Sluter, there we go. There's that interaction. The W for the W.
Yeah, just trading abilities for each other. These two champions, you know, trading blow for blow. These even fighters, just so strong, each matching each other seamlessly, flawlessly. Meanwhile, when you look at the top lane, the fights happening is not going great for 6 legs deep right now. But is still Darius. Darius can randomly find kills. I've seen it happen. I'm mostly on the receiving end of Darius randomly finding kills. So, you know, this is definitely not the end of top lane, but is very much in Fiora's favor, which is what PF Goblins want this game, for sure. But as we continue to watch the map state develop, we have 2 seconds left on the Mountain Drake as it's going to be coming up shortly here. Looks like PF Goblins will be first on that rotation there, and it just seems that our good friends at Dorado will be giving that one over. They understand that they do not have the positioning on it. It's just the second Drake of the game. Now we have the Shrelias going into the bot side right here. Here comes Jalapeno, just trying to get a good angle for that bullet time right there, and it will blow away one member of Dorado as now the Curse of the Sad Mummy crashes onto nobody, and Afrozana is going to have to go back to their own self, but Luck will pick up that kill now from the side. We have Sluter coming in with a ton of damage onto Slippery Jalapeno. The explosion is going to go through, but he doesn't have quite enough damage right yet. He's dropping as many charge Qs as he can, but Afrozana outside the back line. He's getting shredded by Carino, flashing forward, dropping lightning, dropping fire into the Echo there, cleaning that kill up, and now Carino's gonna get just shot down, punished for that greedy turret take. Now Dulcerero's next on the list, but will pick up a kill and a shutdown on the way out. Sluter looking to get a kill for themselves, and this scuffle in the bot lane is very much back and forth, but on the top side, Fiora picks up that outer turret.
Yeah, I think I'm back. I'm having some internet issues.
You're back.
I'm having some internet issues. I apologize, but yeah.
And it looks like the internet issues will continue. I will continue being your pilot this evening.
Going on to the Vlad.
Oh, hello. We're hearing Shibby from the past right here. He's actually caught in the Convergence. All right, Convergence League of Legends story now available wherever games are sold. Actually, probably not wherever games are sold. I don't think they're selling a physical copy of this game. I don't think Riot has the budget for that. Shibby, we there? Oh yeah, Shibby is still dead. So we are just gonna continue on here in this game right here. Welcome to the Becky Rita podcast. It is very unfortunate for everyone that you have to deal with me, but fortunately I'll still be able to deliver the action to you as the Herald will get picked up by Luck around the top side of the map. And we have the rotation, the trade of lanes here. The swap is the word I'm looking for the bot lane and the mid lane, as the mid laners are now in, or the bot laners now in the mid lane, and they're going to be looking to utilize that Herald to the best of their ability. Luck looking for an engage on the backside, will land a Curse of the Sad Mummy onto Carino, and Carino will get blasted there as Griffin was not there to provide any shielding or support. This Herald will get a crash into that second turret, but only just a singular crash. That's quite a lot of damage, though, onto that inner mid turret. Will give a good opportunity to just have some sitting gold to be picked up by PF Goblins if they find themselves a good angle. Now, Afro on the bot side, looking to try and crack this bot lane turret once he gets a solid opportunity to. And on the top side, Fiora still winning every single one of these fights. Getting closer and closer there to that second item, Power Spike, as she was looking for the Ravenous Hydra. That will be a big hit for her when she finds it, but she's still only on that good old Divine Sunderer. I wonder if Fiora could go Triforce. I've been a Triforce enjoyer this patch personally. Fiora is actually going to be looking for a grand challenge on the Griffin 1v3, realizing that they are a little bit behind right now. Will parry the Dulcerero stun, and will do quite a lot of damage right here as Carino is going to arrive, but Warrior Tofu is going to try and clean that up, but now Afrozana, it's in a little bit of danger here. 6 legs deep is going to go for the apprehend, get the pull back, get the Q damage onto Slippery Jalapeno, but will not get the execute as the Misfortune collects some gold off of the Noxian Executioner in the top, in that little jungle scuffle. So, Darius doing a little bit of sprinting right now. Once again, we saw this last game as well. 6 legs deep. May be a little bit too deep in the tank, deep in the pit. Kind of failing to claw themselves out in this series, but that is, it's fine. We're still waiting. We believe in Darius. Darius pulls these back again. I've seen it. I've seen it far too much to not believe. Don't necessarily agree with the Stride Breaker. I feel like there are some better options on this patch right now. Again, Triforce. I am a Triforce believer, always have been. We have the Youmu's getting procced here as Slippery Jalapeno is looking to get a little bit more done, but just not quite enough. Not able to get close enough to get any damage down. So, sort of the theory here, if you've not seen this lethality misfortune, is that with Strut and that Yomu's movement speed, if you drop the slow onto anyone, you can just run them down so quickly. Your Q does a ton of damage, your autos are doing a ton of damage, you're collecting people with that collector. The crit lethality build is very nice on the misfortune, so I'm excited to see it perform in this game. It's something that I have found success with my own teammates in competitive matches, so very enjoyable to have that perform. For the time being, still waiting on Shibby to reconnect. Maybe he's getting it fixed. We'll see what happens. Give a little bit of time here, you know, making sure the internet is stable before he rejoins, so looking at the map right now, we are trading some objectives across the map. PF Goblins will pick up their third Drake of the game, as that is traded for an outer turret for the side of Dorado. 4K gold for the side of Dorado, for the side of PF Goblins here, as they are currently have that lead. A lot of it's consolidated into the top lane and the bot lane as well. The Zeri not exactly performing right here as you would like to see. I will say Zeri's a little bit of a funky pick. A lot of her best items did get hit or adjusted off of the recent item patch. So it is something that makes the champion definitely weaker. I'm a Triforce believer. However, I just don't think it's as good as some of her other items she used to be able to build in the past. So we'll see exactly if the Zeri is still a very effective champion in these later stages of the game, and we've seen Carino perform incredibly well on these incredible carry champions, these hyper-scaling, hyper carries in the game. So wouldn't be too surprised to see Carino pull this one out when given the chance. But as we are sort of seeing the lanes shake out here, the positions being given here, we see PF Goblins favoring this top side as they're considering a potential Baron angle when it shows itself. Warrior Tofu is going to be looking to fight into Sluter right now, who's dropping that good old suck onto the Fiora, but it will not go through. Now after Zonai, it's going to potentially get an engage onto Six Legs Deep. Six Legs Deep very far behind right now, but is still Darius, so you got to respect that potential burst damage. And Zonai doesn't quite get the pullback with Q, so Six Legs Deep will dip away there, just narrowly avoiding what could have been a fatal death in that bot side scuffle. But the Baron will be started here. Zonite not in a great position to follow up right now as Carino picks up that bounty in the mid lane. But pings are coming down around the Baron. 6,000 HP on this purple worm. Warrior Tofu going to get stunned out in the front side, not able to parry that as Dulceraro is looking for an opportunity. They're pinched in this Baron pit. The crescendo's good, but nobody's there to follow up. And now Dulceraro is going to have to dip and dive away. There's a lot of ultimates burned for not a whole lot of gain from Dorado. So now Luck still has the Curse of the Sad Mummy. Zonite still has the Parallel Convergence. Misfortune still has the Bullet Time. All these huge abilities that got burned by Dorado, those ultimates are all still up for the side of PF Goblin, so they can look to reset, look to heal, and then look to start up this Baron again, and Dorado will be missing all of these tools that they need. No flashes were burned either, but no summoners were burned for either side of the Rift, so not too surprising overall. But as we slow down a little bit here, Mumu looking to get some vision around the Baron. Definitely Dorado is knowing that this is going to be the game plan here. They're just going to keep trying to force fights around this Baron. And if you are Dorado, you blunder into a corridor without proper assembly, proper setup, you are going to lose your head for certain. So they're going to start it up. Pings are coming out here. They definitely know. Dorado is aware. They're throwing out some pings onto the Baron, and it's not getting taken very quickly right here, as it is just Slippery Jalapeno and the good old Amumu whacking this guy. Now Carino's going to be first on the jump. Zonite is getting a huge stun right here, but again, no follow-up. Here comes the bullet time, and it is blasting away at Dorado's entire team as Luck is now on the front side. Warrior Tofu's looking to clean him up. Sluter can only survive for so long. Not enough movement speed to escape. Fiora is now Slippery Jalapeno is having to back away. Carino still charged up by the Lightning Crash, but that will just go away very quickly. And with 5 strong, this is going to almost certainly be a Baron for PF Goblin. And Unless Carino has something to say about it, Griffin looking for an opportunity, does have the crescendo, but it is still 5v2. Carino just has to look for a potential opportunity. Afrozonite has arrived, is able to get some zoning down. Smite is available, so it will not... Ooh, actually a little closer than for comfort would be, but now Warrior Tofu has got the angle, will collect the Carino for themselves. That is a godlike Fiora right here. We're seeing the value from this R5 Fiora being paid out in spades.
7-1 on the Fiora
Oh, thank God,
now.
Take it away, Shippy.
Temporarily, I think I'm back. I don't know. I'm disconnecting and connecting. I'm going to try my best here as that Fiora paying in spades in that side lane, getting a huge boon right now for themselves, just controlling that split push, controlling that side lane pressure. PFG, they get the Baron. They are up nearly 10,000 gold at the 25-minute mark. And I told TOGG, I told him, I said, hey, you can't make the same mistakes like you did before because this team composition that PFG have drafted are much better at closing out the game, and we'll see what's up as I don't know.
Goodness. Oh, Luck has gotten in, up 2 on Carino, and there goes the Curse of the Sad Bullet time. A tale as old as time, a combo as old as rhyme. And that is, in fact, going to be 3 members down on the side of Dorado as they are unable to find anything in this game.
They're down quite a big chunk of gold here, and unfortunately, Carino still not able to crest that 3-item point right now. Triforce Runes is just not enough. He needs the Titanic. He needs the shield if we're going to really start going in. And unfortunately, this isn't Zeri Lulu. This is Zeri Sona right now. So he can't really amplify that Zeri to do more damage. Can't give her move speed. Can't really give her a shield. Sona's better with these brawly compositions, these close-knit compositions, which you can get the maximum value out of her W, out of her E here. And unfortunately, 6 legs deep, he's not on a tank, right? He's on Darius. You need to be able to do damage. You need to be able to pressure something here. But unfortunately, when you're on this champion and you have to build this kind of pseudo-bruisery, tanky kind of build, kind of can't do a lot, especially into a 3-item Fiora who has now completed the Spear of Shojin.
Yeah, Spear of Sojin has been completed. This Ravenous Hydra is fully stacked. This Fiora is furious right now. That was a stretch. I apologize for that. We do have the Titanic Hydra completed for Carino in the bot lane. This is kind of the classic Zeri build. We've kind of reverted to day one Zeri right here with Triforce Hydra. Kind of interesting to see that. I don't think it's too bad, but it definitely is weaker than what we saw from her on previous patches. It's still at the same time. We are definitely, yeah, it could still do a lot of work. It's a lot of cleave damage. We just have to see if Carino can perform in these fights, and Sluter is almost certainly dead to rights unless Carino has arrived. Carino's going to scare off Warrior Tofu, and this Zeri is surprisingly tanky in this fight here. Will be forcing Warrior Tofu back, but that is 2 members top, and now Luck is finding an opportunity to try and get onto Dorado. Oh, that is going to be almost a Curse of the Sad Bullet time, but either way, Griffin and Dulce are going to have to back away, and the Carino and Sluter are still a little bit too far back to really arrive. Carino is now here on the fight, firing out these autos, but it's not enough to keep the Darius alive, but there are no minions. PF Goblins, they're going to have to try and play a little bit safer, a little bit slower. They have that Hextech Drake. They have the gold lead right now. They just have to make sure they don't fumble the bag now. 10k gold up. Surely this is not a gold lead you can throw, but Carino's looking to see if it can happen. Will get Curse of the Sad mummied and blown to smithereens.
You went in!
Another carry collected by Slippery Jalapenos Misfortune. And without the Zeri there, unless Sluter can make something happen right now, shields are going to go down. Milio has so many good buttons, but those buttons can't stop the pool from drowning your carry, as Vladimir will be able to collect the Misfortune for themselves, get that shutdown on the back foot right here, as Afrozonite is back in the fight. Warrior Tofu as well will simply collect these objectives. Afrozonite will fall first, but Warrior Tofu not exactly gonna be able to clean this one up themselves, but with one singular Nexus turret here, 2 inhibs down and a Baron in a minute. This is going to be a tough hill to climb for Dorado.
Yeah, if you're Zeri, if you're Carino there, you can't just dash into the Amumu, right? The moment he sees that, he's gonna curse up the sad mummy and you're gonna get blown up here. Sluter has picked up a huge chunk of gold for himself, though. It's 3 items with this Vlad, right? The Cosmic Drive, Night Harvester, and finally the Rabadoodles itself, finally in his pocket. So now, 3 items on both of your late game carries. This is probably the last fight you're going to get here. If you lose this, I'm sure PFG are keen to end it here, right? They've got TP on the Echo. They've got enough in the tank ready to end it here.
Serrero, they find a pick onto the Milio. That's
Uh-oh.
exactly what they want to see, and Baron's still not up. And in fact, the Elder is up in a minute right now. Ragnar taken off the table. That is a lot of safety that Slippery Jalapeno really needs for themselves here, although they do have the Edge of Night to keep themselves alive. I'm interested to see what Carino will be able to do now, although the Vladimir Sluter, I'm talking about Carino a lot, but Sluter has been making the magic happen on the Vladimir this game, trying to pull back victory from the claws of defeat.
Yeah, I mean, 3 items, right? This Vlad is at the point, right? Level 16, 3 maxed out ultimate here, right? 3 points into the R. I mean, he could do a lot of damage if he gets into that backline. It's just who's going to deal with the Fiora? What's going to happen when she finally starts grouping and going into these team fights, right, with the Curse of the Sad Mummy? She hasn't been crazy effective, like really effective in these team fights.
Oh my god, blowing people up, but she's going to get blown up herself right here as Sona will collect that for themselves. Shut down for the gold, thank you very much. Pay your supports. Now Sluter is going to be caught out here
Sluter
in the
1v2ing?
jungle. Yeah, it's Sluter 1v2ing. It is just something else going on right here. And now the Elder will be picked up for PF Goblin. Dulce is running for this objective, but is not going to make it in time. The Thunder rains down onto nobody here, as now Luck is looking to just try and clean this one up. Griffin will get stunned up, will get burned down here by the Misfortune, breathing the dragon, breathing fire down, as Luck is now going to be looking to convert onto these carries, convert onto the last remaining members. Another collection for Misfortune's plate here. Just so much damage, so much power, so much gold into these carries of PF Goblins. We saw what they could do last game, and they're making it happen in this game. The reverse sweep's got to start somewhere, and PF Goblins are going to try and make it start here.
Game number 3, backs against the wall. PFG take game 3 off of a commanding top lane counter pick here. Insane play from Warrior Tofu. But now, Dorado Gaming Gamma, they have the opportunity to close it out. They get side selection here. They might just be able to go on to red side here, take that counter pick for themselves, and close this series out. Goblins had 2 chances now on red side. They're 1-1 so far, but they might get booted to the blue side. They might have to show all of their cards before DGG can really look to dismantle it, as their drafting has been a bit suspect for the PF Goblins here, and they're going to have to draft something really insane for this game 4. But we've got a bit of a series on our hands, Becky, just a bit.
Yeah, we do have a series now on our hands here as Dorado being put to their paces right now, and we'll see if they can look to turn it around here. You could argue it's a little bit of a funky draft that they brought together, a little bit of greed, a little bit of ego maybe. They will have to try and close it out here for themselves. They still are two games up. They still are 1 game away. They just got to make it happen. This game didn't quite go through, but they still have 2 more games, 2 more chances. Well, PF Goblins have got to make this game happen. They've got to make lightning strike thrice, thrice, onto Dorado. So we'll see if they can really make that happen, or if Dorado will clean up the mistakes from this game and look to close out the series. For the time being, though, we're gonna go ahead and go to another break here. When we come back, we'll be in game 4 Ooh, didn't see that last night. Game 4. victory, but they gotta make it happen here. So we'll see what they have in pocket, and it looks like they're gonna try out the VRS for themselves.
DOGG, ban away the Fiora completely. Like, you know what? We don't want to deal with that again. They have counterpick now as Milio getting blinded for PFG now. Nice pick. I suppose they're going to try to maybe wrap it up again with the MF. I didn't hate it. Had a lot of lane control. Had some pretty good performance in that bot lane. And then obviously Curse of the Sad Mummy, super, super strong here. Not to be outdone, right? Fiora was 9-1 or something like that, but I believe also the Misfortune ended up getting 9 kills as well here. So both of those characters doing a lot of damage and putting in a lot of work, but they fear that Fiora just a little bit more as DOGG are going to lock in the Gragas Triflex, potentially Quadflex if you believe in the Gragas support, as some people do, but it is definitely
Who is a believer? I'm a believer.
I like Gragas support. I love Gragas. It's so fun. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But you just get more value out of it, right? When you put it mid or jungle or top.
Yeah, I mean, I just like Gragas. He's a fun champ to play. You're schmooving all over the place. You're chucking barrels. You're doing so much unnecessary amounts of damage. Champion's a little gross, a little busted, but that's all right. We love a little bit of a broken champion. Broken champions make the game fun. And, of course, we have the Twitch getting picked up here. Has been banned the first couple games. Now on the table for Slippery Jalapeno. And we have the Maokai, my boy, my son, Mr. Maokai getting picked up by PF Goblins. And we have got to be kidding me, 6 legs deep, getting the Urgot in the top lane. Oh boy.
He's going to be getting 6 legs deep somewhere in PFG right now with this Urgot right now. That's all he wants to do, right? He wants to go in, flash, E, uses the meat grinders, right? Takes you into the abyss, and you are nowhere to be seen. Locks in the Urgot for himself. So now I suspect, are they saving mid lane counterpick? Are they going Gragas jungle? Are they saving for support counterpick? There's so much to be seen right now. Is all we know right now is that Urgot is going top lane, right? Gragas can still go mid, can still go jungle, can potentially go support. Like we said, if you are a believer, as PFG, they don't believe that. They're going to ban the Lulu away. Potentially another support as well. Is it going to be the Karma? Are they going to ban a poke-based support away? Are they going to ban the Sona that DOGG have been so lovingly been picking these past couple games? What is this final ban? As the Darius and the Jace, the 2 champions DOGG played in the previous games, are banned out. So Mundo is available, but doesn't matter. It's really weird that Mundo and not available won't be picked here by DOGG, but Darius and Jace being banned away from PFG right now.
Yeah, DOGG getting the supports pinched away from them. I do think that's a smart decision here in round 2. There are a lot of really specific supports that work great with the Varus here. And taking away the Lulu and Nautilus sort of weakens their options a little bit. You still have champions like Thresh, like Blitz, who are very good with the Varus. And instead, we are opting into
Brand mid?
I'm butting right now. I love Brand. Brand is one of my favorite champions.
They're cooking.
Like, this game has got all of my favorite champions. It's got Gragas, it's got Brand, it's got Maokai. We're seeing a lot of, fun champions here. Some champs I love to see. Brand does do so much damage here, and one of Milio's big weaknesses is just getting chunked out in laning phase, and Varus Brand are capable of doing that. So
is it brand support? Is it brand support?
I do not think it will go brand mid unless Sluter is really cooking something up. I don't know if Sluter's got that. I don't know if Sluter's cooking brand mid. We'll have to see what's in the tank though, as PFG will pick up the Ari for themselves, the pick that Sluter found success on earlier in the series. Now is in PFG's hands, and the Gnar will get picked into the Urgot. And we have Yone?
Yone into the mid lane. You've got AP damage, you've got the Brand, you've got the Gragas, you've also got Varus if you want to get it even spicier here with a hybrid build. But Varus Brand, this poke lane, this lane that just all it brings to the table is damage and nothing else, right? Yeah, you've got a situational stun with Brand if you can land the EQ, and you've got the Chain of Corruptions. But this bot lane does one thing and one thing only, really. It is just put damage down onto this Twitch, onto Zemilio. Twitch is going to have a rough time. Like, I feel like you can't really trade into this. Every CS you walk up, you're going to be eating a Pillar of Flame. You don't have a movement ability as well, right? You don't have like a Vayne Tumble, a Zeri Dash, a Caitlyn E. You just kind of walk up and get, roastimified here as Twitch and Milio. I think PFG are going to have a harder time in this bot lane than I think people are understanding right now. VRS Brand can put in a lot of work.
Yeah, I do think that Brand is not like an amazing champion right now. He has a lot of weaknesses. I think if you're going for a mage support, Zyra is probably the better option, just because Zyra offers a lot more in terms of utility and zone control. There's just more to the champion than just hitting the buttons and doing a lot of damage, which Brand does. I love Brand, but I just don't think he's amazing right now.
You're not a Brand
Zyra
believer?
Zyra, I guess, isn't super necessary, but I like the Zyra in a lot of situations. Maybe not with Varus. I don't know. I guess maybe Brand is not like. I don't know. I feel like the Brand's okay, but you could still go for something like Thresh with the Varus, and hooks are really good into Milio, but I don't really. I honestly, I don't know. It's maybe there are a lot of things I don't know about. I don't know a lot of things. I am, of course, not even a victor in any leagues. I am a draft runner-up 2-time. So a draft league runner-up 2-time. I don't know anything about League of Legends. So
I believe in the Brand. I like it. I think it's spicy. I don't think PFG's bot lane have any experience going against the Brand. I'm going to be quite honest, right? The matchup inexperience plays into DOGG's favor. I think there's a lot cooking here, literally, for Brand here. We're going to see how this lane rolls out. And you got to realize DOGG have had really stellar laning phases, right? They've done really, really well. Even when they were down and behind, you can see, they've been pretty good on taking turrets. They've really good on CSing. A lot of the time we'll pan down to the bot lane and Karina will have like a massive CS lead, right? Like 20, 30 sometimes have plate leads. It's not out of their wheelhouse to exert more lane dominance, especially on a pick like this, where they just brings more and more damage here. I think the other interesting matchup is that Urgot into Gnar. I feel like Gnar just excels into melee champions, right? And I would classify Urgot as a melee champion, even though he does have the shotgun knees. Gnar will just outrange him. So it's going to be up to Urgot to kind of make the plays, right? Flash E, right? Prep or prep the E, right? Kind of buffer it before a stun or anything like that, and then really get the kill on. Yone, Ari, both champions are just going to be trading aggressively into that mid lane. This Maokai, though, a lot of lockdown, especially onto the Varus, who I suspect will be taking cleanse for himself. I don't think he's going to be going Ghost. And it's going to be rough if you're cleanseless, if you're flashless, if you're this Varus. You have to play really, really well because the Gnar can jump in, the Ari can jump in. Obviously, Maokai as a champion, Flash W is quite uncounterable, really, unless you have flash up and you flash him into your team. There's a lot being thrown in Varus's face here. So I'm going to see what DOGG's bot lane can cook up here and how they're going to be able to exert some of their pressure onto the rest of the map. But so far, PFG's got, both of these compositions, I like them. I know you're going to ask me, Becky, which do I prefer? But honestly, both of these comps are really spicy and really cool in their own unique ways.
Yeah, they're pitting my favorite support up against my favorite jungle. I don't know who to pick right now. But with that said, we'll have to see what happens. We're going to go to a quick break as we get the game ready. So it'll be very quick. So don't blink. Don't go too far. We'll be back in On the Rift very shortly.
The Popo thing is water, baby, but this motherfucking Grey Goose, baby.
Welcome back, everybody, here on the Rift for Game 4 of our series here in the semifinals of the Victorious Rivals series between PF Goblins and Dorado Gaming Gamma here. Before we get into talking about this game, though, I'm going to give you an update from the other side of the bracket. Lit Club has won their first game of the series as well, and now that series is 2-1 in favor of Bing Chiller's Hard Hat still, but Lit Club did claim a single, or their first game of the series. Now both these teams looking for that reverse sweep, and we'll see if either of them will be able to get it. But yeah, well, looking at this series right now, though, we've got some. First of all, I gotta give a shout out the absolutely giga-based, omega-based Maokai, the Maokai here. Yoan gonna win lane here. Just got the free ward. That's a level 1 on first wave. But Maokai here, amazing right now. Has the first strike. I have honestly really fallen in love with the first strike Maokai because you literally are just printing money. You don't even need to build damage. You just need to go demonic, and your saplings print you money. It is highly illegal. Maokai is going to go to jail for tax fraud.
Cryptocurrency.
Yeah, he is absolute. Yeah, I know. The bark you buy off of Maokai is absolutely a cryptocurrency for sure. He's getting so much fake money right here on the Rift, and it's something I've really enjoyed picking up for this champion. It just gets you, with the tank item changes as well, the cheaper support tank items, it really helps you just accelerate so quickly on this Maokai champion. So it's something I've really preferred personally, and especially into how much of Dorado's comp wants to just run at you in fights.
No.
Those saplings are going to be a problem. And a problem for the bot side right here is Carino doing a ton of damage. But Maokai is looking for a gank
on the ward.
Yeah, they did get spotted, but it did not get pinged out. So they're backing out a little bit too late, as now Griffin's going to be the target. Is not going to be able to flash out of here, and it's just going to be secured. But now the fight's going to continue as Dulcerero is going to try and get on Ragnar. He's very low right now. The nullifying orb is going to save him from the magic damage and keep him alive. Ragnar still very low down here as Dulcerero is looking to just try and push this in. Hoo boy, they saw Maokai. They saw Maokai. Hello? What's going on?
They didn't even back off. They didn't even back off. They just stayed in the bush. It was so confusing. Griffin, unfortunately, pays for his sins as Carino still able to put some pressure onto this bot lane himself. But yeah, they saw Luck on vision, and maybe they thought Dulce would be able to get there in time. Flash burn from both of the junglers, full sums burn from Ragnar, full sums burn from Carino. I expect Luck to visit this VRS again very, very soon.
Yeah, Varus is going to get visited again and again and again and again and again as the game goes on here. However, for the time being, though, Slippery Jalapeno did get that first kill, but is quite down in the CS department here, as Carino is very far ahead in terms of that number, but the numbers right now here are still relatively even. You wouldn't say necessarily that was a huge loss here, but 6 legs deep is going to be in a little bit of danger right here. Does still have the flash. The dash gets interrupted by Luck existing, but that is what it is. What really matters is that Maokai is printed a little bit of gold right there. So cha-ching, that's like plus 28. You take that, absolutely. That's like a minion, you know. That's a whole minion right there for nothing.
Not for nothing. You wasted time, right? Time is money, and if time is money, then Luck has wasted it. As abstract as we go, Carino and Griffin, though, I think once Griffin hits, he's finally level 3 now, can start rotating that full combo potentially onto Slippery or Ragnar here. Despite everything that's happened, though, once again, Carino with a nice little CS lead for himself, even with the kill onto Slippery Jalapeno. 1-0, Cull in Twitch's hand, though. Well, Carino is building more towards that damage profile. We need to see this brand put in the work right now, as the tri-push is not warded this time around. They won't see if Maokai comes here.
Yeah, they won't see if Maokai arrives, but he is on the top side of the map here. Slippery Jalapeno is still a little bit of struggling in the spot lane matchup. The brand pressure is quite enormous right here. And something to point out, I called it out when I saw it. You may not have ever seen this rune because it is kind of bad, but Nullifying Orb, everyone. You never see it because Mana Flow Band is just better in every scenario where you do not need the one on the right side. Does it give movement speed? Nimbus Cloak. Nimbus Cloak.
Oh yeah.
Nimbus Cloak on the top row. When you don't need Nimbus Cloak, you usually go Mana Flow Band if you are taking a top row there. And Milio has opted into the Nullifying Orb, which did end up paying off there. And on the top side, no longer talking about runes right now. Warrior Tofu is going to get chewed up, spit out, and that is going to be a solo bolo for 6 legs deep. And now Ragnar is going to be in a little bit of danger, going to get stunned up right here as Griffin's going to drop the ignite, but Afrozonite is going to keep them back from concluding this kill. But Sluter has a good angle. He's going to get an ult right here. The fate is sealed for Milio, and luck is he twisted, advanced a little bit too far, and will advance himself back to the fountain right there, as that is going to be a team fight wash in Dorado's favor.
That is practically a delayed ace, almost a delayed ace here. I think Afro, the only one that lives from that fight here, where Tofa got solo killed, Luck got destroyed, Jalapeno and Ragnar got absolutely thrashed in that dragon fight. 2.2k gold lead now, or sorry, 2,000 gold lead for DOGG here, and the brand believers rise up. I am one of you. It's doing work, Becky. It's doing something.
At brand, good champion, everyone. Believe. Maokai is getting more AP, opting into the AP first as opposed to the HP on the Demonic Helm. It has its benefits, has its weaknesses. You saw a little bit of that weakness there, is that Maokai is super squishy without Aftershock and any HP at all. At the very least, he will be somewhat tanky when he finally finishes that Demonic Helm, but it is still going to be a little bit before we see that get completed, especially because his tempo, his momentum was stunted by that Dragon play. So for the time being, we have a pretty big gold, a pretty sizable gold cash-in for Sluter here, who has the Zeal now on the Yone. Yone on this patch actually got hotfixed. For those who were unaware, received some resistances buffs to help minimize the impact that was felt by the removal of the mythic status of Shield Bow. So we'll see what exactly he's going to opt for here. There are a few different options that Yones have been going for. Bork first is something they've been looking at, and
Gale Force.
Yeah, Gale Force. Observing a fight right here is Dulcerero is going to get caught out right now here, locked up by every piece of CC from the top side of the map. But we have the Twisted Advance advancing on the back line, but Dulcerero will pick that one up on the back. And now devoured by 6 legs deep is Warrior Tofu, a little man, and a little fox lady will be cut apart. Those tails have been trimmed by Barber Yone in the mid lane.
I for sure thought 6 legs was gonna die there in the middle of 2 individuals, was ready to rumble as Bluck once again takes an unfortunate twisted advance, as now the damage gets put on.
Slippery Jalapeno! Who's doing damage down here anyways right now is Carino, and Griffin drop a great combo on him. Just aren't able to get anything else out of it, and Slippery Jalapeno picks him up on the back foot.
Nice little rat-a-tat-tat, if that's what it's called still. It might
it is spray. I think it's back to spray and pray.
It's back to spray and pray.
Which is
nice
good.
Spray and pray. Yeah.
Rat-a-tat-tat was definitely a nerf to the ability. Spray and pray is a significantly better name. Now, if we could get back Finalis Funkun, I will be happy. Okay, I'll be happy. Lux. That's Lux's old ultimate name. Final Spark used to be called Finalis Funkun because her whole character is a Toho reference. And that's a little bit of old League lore there. Boomer Rita is just sharing some information, and Afrozonite is going to be put to bed, much like me after this game. Going to bed early like an old person. Is Afrozonite will go down in the mid lane, as Sluter is just going to start running this game over on the Yone.
I think there's another one too, right? Cease and desist, or it's assault and battery. I always forget which one
It was assault and battery was the name of the ability before they understandably decided to change it to cease and desist on the Vi. I can't really, I don't really understand why that might be. Let's
With her
not talk
police
about
skin?
that. Let's
Yeah.
let's not
I can
talk
see
about
it.
that. Let's not worry about that. Anyways, here on the Rift, we do have Twitch has a couple kills in the bot lane, but still down in CS on the top side. Gnar struggling, Maokai struggling, Ari struggling. The money printers are inoperable right now for the poor old Maokai. So it is definitely a tough situation for the side of PFG right now, but we'll see if they are able to pull it back around. They weren't able to really win with a gold lead in game 2, but now at a deficit, we'll see if they can pull it back.
21 to 16K right now. It's a 5,000 gold lead for DOGG. And they've got the means to close it out, right? They've got a fed Urgot. They've got a mega fed Yone. Sluter's like, you put me on Vlad. I did my due diligence. I've went into the Vladimir jail. Give me something I can do something on. And Sluter with the Yone has just been performing exceptionally well right now. Go take the Fate Unsealed. Or sorry, the Phantom back as Luck throws the ultimate out for pretty much nothing.
Yeah, I will say something that really bothers me with a lot of Maokai players is that they don't like to click the button. And meanwhile, Twitch is clicking the button on the bot side of the map as Milio will cleanse out the chains of corruption, but Dulcerero is on the mark right here, waiting to get in right there. There goes the stun onto the Milio. There goes the damage. Kaboom, baby. That is going to be a dead little child there. The Blitzballer has been taken down. The Twitch has been taken down. Now Luck is going to have their own Luck run out, trying to cash in with the first strike proc. But that will not pay out for him as much as he would like.
Emilio went down, unfortunately. Rest in peace. Ragnar can't really do much as Twitch has opted in for the Stormrazor Rush. I thought the build was still Bork, but I guess I'm wrong here. Opting in for more of that crit, opting more for that crit Twitch build that we see. It's going to take a lot of time to ramp up here. Right now, 11-2, 8,000 gold lead for DOGG. Dorado Gaming Gamma. They were sleeping in game 3. They woke up. It's like that Shaq meme where he's awake, right? And it's all like deep fried. That's what happened. DOGG. Zol brought out the bat, the paddle, whatever you want to say, and whipped him back into shape.
Yeah. With Zol, he saw the mistakes. He did not drop the baseball bat. He picked it back up, and he delivered some, motivation onto his team here for Dorado. And now they've cleaned up their act from game 2. They're no longer playing with their food. They want to get the job done. They no longer need to put on a show. They're going to wait to put on that show in the finals, but they still do have to close this one out. It's looking quite good for them right now, but every game of League of Legends is not over until the Nexus explodes. Even if you believe it's over, truly, this is a game of Mario Party. Anything can happen. Anything is possible. I'm just going to keep saying that because I don't...
Possible,
because my analytical skills right here is, but my brain looks at this gold deficit and the power on the map and it says, yeah, this is doomed. FF, go next season. But you can't say that in a competitive game. You gotta pull it through. You gotta look for those 5% plays. Even if it will not pay out, you're gonna lose anyways, so you might as well take those gambles right here. You just gotta have a little bit of luck. And Tofu's may not have luck, but luck has arrived for
Griffin
him.
is here.
But Griffin is even stronger than having a little bit of luck, as luck will be burned down like the California forests right there in the top side of the map. But with 6 legs deep, will be in a little bit of danger here. Does fail to hit that ultimate there, but will pull back Warrior Tofu. He gets clapped. Now Dulcerero does miss the combo on to Slippery Jalapeno, who is now the solo defender here with the Emilio on the top side of the map.
They get the turret in the top side. They get a kill for their troubles as well onto Warrior Tofu. Yone, all the meanwhile, Scooter just taking control of this mid lane here. Everybody on Dorado is feasting this game. 3-0-5 on the Gragas, 2-0-4 on the Urgot, 4-0-1 on the Yone, 2-1-5 on Carino as well. And hey, even a couple kills onto Griffin. All the Omis eat if you're on the side of Dorado Gaming Gamma.
Yeah, all the homies are eating now for Dorado. They are feeling quite good here. However, items are coming in for the side of PF Goblins. We do have the Demonic Helm finished on the Maokai. He is going to feel pretty decent about that. Still not quite the front line they need, but is a step closer to actually being a useful frontliner. Twitch does have that first item, is not too terribly far behind compared to, well, at least the rest of his team. He is in a better position. Milio is never going to find an item. It's just not going to happen. I don't think Milio will find enough gold to... I don't think there's enough pennies in the couch cushion to really get Milio an item here. Make sure to put in a donation for your supports so they can actually acquire something useful for themselves. Probably not actually too far away from Shrelius, but...
It's a little too late for them, right? It's still a little too late right now.
Yeah.
I mean, they needed that Shirelia's 5 minutes ago.
They do have the Locket, though.
Lead.
They do have the Locket, though. Okay, they did have enough gold for Locket. All right, I'll take it. That's not nothing. So, yeah, PF Goblins, they do have at least their first items in the bank, and Dorado are not quite at their second item spike, so there is a little bit of a power window here, where at least in terms of everything but levels, they are on... I wouldn't say even footing, but not quite the colossal, insurmountable deficit you would think it to be. So, a well-executed team fight could still be good for PF Goblins, but finding it is going to be the problem.
They need a couple of dream scenario team fights, right, for PFG. Like, this Twitch needs to get a second item. Ari needs to land, like, a crazy... charm onto somebody. Like, this team fight is looking rough, right? And even though you're printing money for luck, you're still down a smite, right? You've got the fully evolved smite from DOGG versus your 900 smite right now on your Maokai. These objectives that you want to contest, it's impossible right now. As the Chemtech Soul is on the menu, like we said, for them, DOGG are just going to take this for free.
Yeah, DOGG looking to just pick this one up with no contest right here. And honestly, PF Goblins should not be bothering to contest. They are nowhere in a good enough position to actually make it happen. So they're taking the smart play here, not bothering to contest. Well, they're going to have to wait and try and contest that soul. But hey, fortunately, this is a Chemtech Drake, which is arguably the weakest soul. So... not the end of the world if they opt into just giving over the soul too, and maybe look for an Elder Flip to win the game if they can stall long enough. The problem is, I don't know if they can stall long enough. That is the big problem.
Yeah, it feels like we're in the Baron waiting room right now for Dorado Gaming. It's pre-20 minutes. You're up 13-2, 10,000 gold. You press tab, you look at the items, you see that you're quite literally an item up on pretty much every member here, if not a little bit more. You're just looking for picks. You're looking for something to do right now. DGG just twiddling their thumbs. They're just bored.
Yeah, Dog are just kind of like, oh man, I don't know what to do right now. They're not stepping up. They don't want to play anymore. I'm kind of getting bored. I wanna go home. I want to go take a nap. They're tired of this game. They're dropping the Herald down in bot side here.
Nice chunk of damage.
What they can make of it. They do get a chunk into that inhibitor turret there, which will set them up very nicely if they want to set up a split push with 6 legs deep, who can really threaten an inhib if given the opportunity. And honestly, I'm not sure who can really contest the Urgot right now in a side lane. What individual member would be able to do it? as we now are seeing those second item power spikes coming in for the side of Dorado. We do have the Bork finished, the Hole Breaker finished for our top laner, Bork for the VRS, and Shield Bow for the Yone. So now that little bit of window of opportunity that PFG had to potentially look for a decent fight has closed, and they have to wait until they get to their own second items as well. But that is going to take so long, and Maokai is he's failed the brain check. He's going for the double burn, and now he's going to be punished by just getting burned down himself by the Brand, who is so strong here. And yeah, Baron's just getting started.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, we're in the Baron waiting room. Finally, it spawns. DOGG want to do it, but they're actually getting muscled out right now. 6 legs deep, unfortunately, is on that bot side right now. Looking to maybe burn a TP Warrior Tofu. Somebody's gonna have to back to mash this. He's gonna get an inhibitor turret.
Yeah, like I said a moment ago, that little crash there set up an opportunity for a free inhib for 6 legs deep, and that is exactly what was in the cards. 6 legs deep saw the Fiora split push from last game and said, hey, wait a minute, I can do that, and decided to pull it out for themselves in this game. A little bit of a split push there from the Urgo as he collects that inhib and now creates a huge pressure, a huge zone of pressure for the side of PFG to contend with, as the supers are going to start crashing into the base, and the Baron is almost going to be certainly easy pickings for the side of Dorado.
Yeah, and that's a hole breaker Urgot as well, right? He never wants to group. He just wants to keep splitting. He wants to force you to send more than one person down to his side so that you can say, hey, you got to commit multiple resources, as they are doing right now. 6 legs deep. He laughs. He doesn't care, right, that you've sent 4 or 5 people towards him. He's going to die.
Oh, he's still going to trade back. He's still... Oh! No. Okay, death narrowly avoided.
Look at mid.
Oh, wait, yeah, that's just going to be a push down in the mid lane. They sent everyone to bot lane. They burned every cooldown they had, but it is still just going to open up a window of opportunity there for Dorado to just go and clean up an inhib. And now with 13k gold up, one of the biggest gold leads we've seen so far in playoffs, Dorado have far too much to lose here, and they are not looking to lose this one.
Infernal Dragon up in 35 seconds. Soul on the menu for Dorado Gaming Gamma. Right now, the world is their oyster. They can just 5-man top with Baron. They can let Dolce solo Dragon. They can group for the Infernal Soul. Excuse me. 6 legs deep can also just push them himself. He doesn't have the Baron on him, so unfortunately it's not going to be that fast, but he still has Hullbreaker. They can still put a lot of pressure there. Has TP available as well if they actually absolutely need it here. But it feels like DOGG, they can 4v5. They can put 5 more members on PFG. It looks like they can 4v10.
Yeah, they can absolutely 4v10 right here. They do not care about anyone right now. Dorado has no threat, no fear. And it looks like 6 legs deep, realizing that they are so catastrophically far ahead, could be tossing their life away right now. We'll see what happens, but every trade they take, every trade they make is just going to be another objective for Dorado, and that will be the soul getting picked up by them. And 6 legs deep is still just not even close to dead. I will say, fun bug fact here, Urgot is going for the locket as his mythic, although I do not think he will be buying it, as I've got a sneaking suspicion this game is going to be over before he can make that next purchase. But I suppose we still will have to stall out and see whether or not Dorado are going to close it here. They have 30 seconds left on their Baron, and they're going to be looking to just get a pick right here. Goodbye to Luck, who is going to stay alive just narrowly. The snipe from 6 legs does not come through, and now 6 legs is going to be potentially the target right here, as Griffin just throws out the ulti, tries to get some poke damage, some little bit of chip damage, and Griffin flashes over the wall with the Brand. The Brand believers are eating tonight as he gets a ton of burn, a ton of pain, a ton of slows onto the backside of PF Goblins, and there's nothing left for the side of the Goblins here. They are starved. They are hungry. They are desperate. They'll make their final crash into Dorado. They managed to get a shutdown, but it is only onto the brand. And Carino is still alive. Sluter is still alive. Six Legs no longer cares about anyone right now and will just collect his paycheck right here as Sluter finishes the game, finishes the enemy team, and finally closes out the series in a dominating fashion.
3-1 Dorado Gaming Gamma was probably supposed to be a 3-0.
Yeah, a little bit.
The
We
for fun.
we troll a little bit. We troll a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah, Dorado Gaming punched their ticket into the grand finals. Becky, do you have an update on the other series as well?
No other game has finished. They closed that one out pretty quickly. So right now for the other series right here, they are only 8 minutes or so into their game. And I'm looking at a stream that's a little bit in the past for the other series, but it is pretty dead even right now. No real breaks have been made across the map, so it is still going to be 2-1 in the other series on the other side of the bracket. Still in favor of Bing Chiller's Hard Hats, but Noir is looking to get the reverse sweep done. Unfortunately for PF Goblins, the reverse sweep was not real, and the Goblins will have to wake up for work and go to bed and wake up for work in the morning, feeling a little less good about not making playoffs. But at the end of the not making it to finals, they made it playoffs. They made it to semifinals, which is pretty impressive, all things considered. But that aside, you know, they put in a valiant effort. I think we saw in games 2 and 3 that they were a very capable team and capable of putting it together, but Dorado just had honestly just like better compositions and a better way of playing the game than PF Goblins did.
They seemed a bit more flexible too, right? Sluter showed a lot of champion flexibility, right? Was on the Vlad, was on the Yone, right? He played a lot of different champions, was being really effective here. And it feels like, Dorado haven't really unveiled everything, right? It feels like they still got a couple tricks up their sleeves, right? A couple cards still ready close to their chest that they're potentially going to unveil in that finals matchup. But Dorado Gaming looking absolutely lethal in these games, even in the one that they were super far behind. You kind of still had maybe a little bit of hope, like, maybe if they take a fight here, maybe if they do something like that. I mean, they were able to come back from a 7,000 gold lead at 15 minutes in game 2. This team is anything, if anything, they're resilient. And they have that, like we said, iron steel, whatever you want to call it, mental fortitude to them. So congrats to them. Unfortunately, like you said, for PF Goblins, their run ends here. But Dorado Gaming Gamma are going to punch their tickets to the finals and hopefully take home another trophy for Zol.
Yeah, Zol and Dorado looking to make this Gamma roster just another chip in the bag for Gamma here. But they will have to face down one of LCE Noir or Bing Chiller's Hard Hat in the finals. So they're definitely going to be watching that series with anticipation, seeing who they will be squaring off against in our exciting final match next week. And I'm sure if you are there are some player streams you can find if you're interested in watching those for yourself. You can get a little bit of footage of that if you want to watch those games. But for at least for us, we are going to be closing our broadcast out tonight. But before we go, it's time, everyone. Get excited. It's time to do the ad read. I'm not even going to try to do a smart transition here. I'm just pulling up the ad read. I'm pulling up the script off my computer right now.
Is this wait, I haven't had a chance to hear the blessings of the Becuita ad read in such a long time. What is it? What can I get?
We at Victorious Esports are excited to talk about our partnership with the amazing folks at ProComps GG, bringing this split to the next level. ProComps is a powerful drafting tool for League of Legends players to provide a competitive edge before the game starts. You may remember many times when you lost the game during Champ Select. Thus, ProComps comes up with a great product to help you improve your drafting skills. With ProComps, you can find the best champions to play at any point during the draft, review your team's strengths and weaknesses, and get many other crucial insights regarding team compositions. After the draft, you can check the summary page ProComps provides and see which lanes you should focus on in the early game and understand the objectives and priorities. ProComps is even integrated into Pro Draft, so you can easily use it during your scrims. ProComps are also now on Overwolf and 100% free. Be sure to check out ProComps today to give yourself a competitive advantage before your game even begins. That is procomps.gg. Thanks again to our partners, ProCompsGG, for enabling us to provide such a great tournament. And we look forward to catching you on the Rift for the remainder of our games. There it is. There's the ad read, everyone. Thank you.
I love ProComps!
I love ads. Woo! There's no skipping that ad, unfortunately, unless you, I guess, close the stream. Real quick, do you want to talk about MVP? If just like just a second, who's MVP? Who do you believe is MVP?
Is it Dolce? I want to say it's Dolce. I feel like he played really well in all the games.
I feel like if you're looking purely at consistency across all the games, it's either Carino or Dolce. But
Yeah.
Carino was kind of like Carino definitely just turbo gapped the bot lane and made
100%.
it impossible, even in the best games here. I think Sluter played pretty well in some games. The Vladimir one was a little sussy, but I think that was just Vladimir the champion and less Sluter being bad at the game.
Hey,
Sluter
he was
played
trying to bring it back. I'm gonna be real. What he was
Sluter did God's work on the Vladimir. It's just Vladimir is not blessed. Is not a very blessed champion. So yeah, no, I feel like all the
Hey,
members of
Dolce.
Dorado, except for Griffin. Griffin was not MVP candidate. The rest of the members of Dorado, I feel like there's an argument you could make, but for me at least, I think I would give it to Dolce. Maybe that's my jungler bias, though. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Dolce. I think Sluter as well. I don't know if I can forgive like the 5-6 kill Varus in the bot lane. I don't know if that's
Yeah.
necessarily Carino's fault though, and
Yeah.
Griffin's fault. But I think for me, consistency plays a very big key in who I determine as MVP. And I think it's either Dolce or Sluter. I think even that Vlad game, he was like one of the people I was looking at, like, oh, he's at 3 items, like he could potentially 1v3, 1v4. Just it was too heavy. But I think for me, I'd give it to Dolce. Dolce played phenomenal on Volibear, on the Poppy, right? I mean, even in that third Volibear game, he was still looking to do stuff like, and that's a champion that I personally don't think it's that good, but he was able to out jungle Luck. I would say 3 out of the 4 games.
Not a very blessed champion. So making the most of it.
Yeah,
and
it's either Sluter or Dolce. That's who I picked Dolce, but I wouldn't be surprised if people are like, "Oh yeah, I'll give it to Sluter," because that man showed so much champion flexibility, and was pretty much put on anything. I don't even think he had counter pick available to him, and he was still just doing really well in lane. So
yeah. So that will close out our night here. We're done with the ads. We're done with the games. And we're ready to close it out, take a good old rest as we go into the weekend. Tomorrow, I believe it is the, excuse me, I believe it is the VTS finals. I do not necessarily know if that will be casted. I'm pretty sure it will be streamed on the Victorious main channel. So make sure you check that out. Soon. Tomorrow. And next week, we will have our VRS finals with Dorado Gaming Gamma and one of the other teams on the other side of the bracket. So be sure you come back next week for the exciting conclusion to our Spring 2023 Victorious Rivals Series. I have been tonight, and every other night, Becky Rita, joined by Shibby here on the desk. thank you all for watching. Have a great evening, and go outside tomorrow. I hear it's gonna be maybe a good day. Maybe the weather's good where you are. It's good where I am. So try and enjoy yourself on the Friday, just Friday and the weekend. So see you later.
I can hear the sound of a heartbeat before it goes out. Won't never leave my memory of bloodshed all around. And I can see a tear on my father's face before it falls out. Oh, my enemy, how could I have ever let you down? When all these trees saw us grow, cut our teeth and make our bones right here. We play with shields made of stone, share our dreams and sit our thrones. Be still, 'cause I see smoke up ahead and I got steel in my hands. Return like warriors, I swear that we'll find glory up ahead. Tell me, where is my home? I don't recognize the faces anymore. No, where is my friend? The one I've known since I was only just a kid. I think it's time to say goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. Oh, it's time to say goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. Oh, it's time to say goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye.